Hello, hello, everybody. Warm greetings from the high 10 and happy holidays to everybody. This is a two-part live. The first part of this live is pertaining to recent events that have taken place here in the U.S. I don't know what's going on with people in general, but Christmas Day seemed to have not been a good day for many civilians. There was a lot going on, such as violence. And we know that there's violence every day in this country. There's always somebody doing something to someone for whatever reason. Hello, GB. How you doing? Thank you. But it just seems like lately, Christmas Day, day after Christmas, it was like one thing after the other. I don't know what was going on in America, but I couldn't put my finger on what in the hell was going on. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I had a really relaxing day, Christmas. Hello, dear. How are you? Hello, Jackie. Hello, Deb. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hello, Sammy. Hi. Thank you all so much for joining me. The first part of this live is going to be very brief. It's just pertaining to some stories I saw in the queue, the YouTube queue, that were very bothersome to me. One incident with the serial killer down in Florida, very, very scary. This guy killing homeless people. I don't know what his problem is, but he's jacked up. Then we had an issue over in, I believe, Virginia, where a woman was being beat up by her boyfriend, and some good civilians decided they wanted to help, aid her, and they ended up getting shot. I got so many I can't even keep up. What is so many? Because I'm in my mind, this is not funny, but this is crazy. Christmas. This is a time for sharing, laughing, exchanging gifts, eating, drinking, watching sports, talking to people, Skyping, messaging people that you can't see. And these people out here have nothing better to do than to go out here and kill people, shoot people. Oh, I have a road rage incident in the group. I've got a road rage incident. I've got the serial killer in Florida. The woman who's being beat up by her boyfriend, civilians trying to help, got shot. I'm just like, what the hell's going on with Christmas Day? Why is everybody so angry? But I know what the issue is. We have a lot of unhappy people. We have a lot of unhappy, miserable people. And I found that out myself recently over the weekend when I went out. I realized there are people you can't help. There are people you can't do anything for. There's no help for them. They're miserable. They're just miserable bats. And that's just the way the world is. But I'm going to play you a little audio from some of the stories I found. And then I'm going to go into my commentary pertaining to Candus Wells information. I'm going to tie into lives that I've done previously, some things I've ascertained from listening to older interviews with Chris Madonna, and life experiences, and that will be the subject for the evening. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you all so much. Hello, everybody. Happy holidays. Yes, there is so much hate. Let me bring you the first story out of Florida. I'm going to start with him, the serial killer, because this information is just absolutely asinine. This was uploaded 5 hours ago, and Inside Edition is the source. All these sources and storylines are on my community page. If you want to log over there to watch the videos, to get the information, and you want to read the comments or whatever, they're on my community page. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hello, Joelle. How you doing? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Tina. Hello, everybody. Belated Christmas, happy holidays, and happy New Year to everybody. If I don't get back on by the time New Year gets here. Hello, Flower Lane. Thank you so much. Hold on one second, you guys. Let's go with, I got so many stories to talk about. This is Inside Edition. Together, we lost. One second. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I stepped out for a brief moment to go to the store. So I said, I want to try to look a little bit decent today. Thank you so much. Thank you, honey. Merry Christmas, Esley. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Is charged with 1 count of attempted premeditated murder.
Police in Miami say they arrested a local real estate agent who they suspect is a serial killer. 25-year-old Willie Suarez Maceo has been charged with the premeditated attempted murder of a homeless man near downtown Miami. But authorities say he's suspected of killing another homeless man just hours later by shooting him in the head as he slept on a sidewalk. The interim police chief says Suarez is also suspected of killing another homeless person back in October.
The investigators took no rest. They knew that we're close. They felt the pain. They felt the injustice that the victims had suffered at the hands of this cruel individual and this senseless crime. And through their diligent efforts, we're able to successfully apprehend a violent criminal that's no longer on the streets of Miami.
While a public defender argued that there was no video showing her client shooting the victims, the judge denied bond for Suarez at a hearing on Christmas Eve. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Mara Montalbano.
All right, that's my first source. It's Inside Edition. Most of you have probably heard about this guy, very nice looking guy, 25 years of age. I'm assuming he's Hispanic. He's more brown skinned, but anyway, most of you know there are some Hispanics who come from the islands and they have more of a brown tone and dark skin tone. I'm very confused at what the hell's going on down there in Florida. I'm just like, dude, what's the problem? You're mad? You're angry? What? You're trying to get rid of people you think don't deserve to be here? What's the issue? Not your place to be killing innocent people on the street. Whether you like these people, you think they're a problem to our society, whatever, that's not for you to decide. As they would call it, vigilante justice. Well, first of all, the people would have to be doing something for you to think that it's okay for you to stand your ground and or exact vigilante justice. We know that in the United States, I believe in most states, vigilante justice is against the law. So you are out here just randomly shooting people sleeping on the street because what reason? Thank God he doesn't have a bond. Naturally, only a fool would let him out on a bond. Even the highest amount, he doesn't need to be free because he is a walking time bomb. And the fact that they are linking him to a case from 2016 is even more scary because that's 5 years ago, depending on the date in 2016. This guy's been walking around from being 20 years old, killing people. Hello, everybody. So that's even more scary. A 20-year-old killing a homeless person. For what reason? What reason did you have to be killing someone in 2016? Now it's 2021. You've been obviously seen on camera shooting some people or shooting someone, attempted murder. Why? This is very baffling. Hello, Andrew. How you doing? This is very, very baffling. I'm going to bring you another commentary pertaining to that story. Hold on one second. I've got a few before I get to my Hollerville madness. Oh, Lordy. This is just very, very, very baffling information. Inside Edition is my first source pertaining to this story. I'm going to go back a couple of days ago when the story first broke to the media. CBS Miami is the second source. One second. Thank you. Hello, Justice. How you doing? Well, it is chewing gum for some people, unfortunately.
Breaking news out of the city of Miami. That's where officials announced the arrest of a suspected serial killer.
Authorities held a press conference just a few minutes ago, and we're learning more about the man they now have in custody. CBS 4's Joel Waltman joins us now live from Miami Police Headquarters with the new details. Joel?
Good evening, and a scary evening at that. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez and Interim Police Chief Manny Morales announcing just a short time ago at a press conference here at PD headquarters that they have arrested a suspected serial killer. That person is 25-year-old Willie Maceo Suarez. Police say that he is currently sitting in jail on a trespassing charge. They say that trespassing charge is a whole other story that they wouldn't get into, and said it was a fascinating one. They do expect to charge him for murder in just a matter of moments. They said as soon as they get back inside, they were going to prepare those charges. Now, these murders, according to police, happened within 2 hours on Tuesday night. The first was on the 400 block of Southwest 2nd Avenue. The victim there survived. Police say he is in horrible shape. He's at Jackson Memorial, and there is a good chance he will not make it. And then about 2 hours after that person was shot, police say another gentleman was shot in the Wynwood area. It turns out that both victims in this case were homeless, and police say that at least one of the instances, the shooter fired the weapon from the car without even getting out. Now, police are also eyeing Maceo Suarez in another homicide back on October 16th. This was the stabbing of a homeless person. They would not get into details, but say that an investigator working on that case noticed something that connected Tuesday night's murder and attempted murder to this stabbing back in October 16th, to be precise. Now, on his Facebook page, it shows a man that was interested in real estate. He reportedly worked as a real estate agent for Century 21, also interested in fast cars and cryptocurrency. And to that, both the mayor and the chief says you can never judge a book by its cover.
Very true.
Police officers are trained to go after the actions, not the person, not the way they look, but the way that they behave and the actions they take. I have been in law enforcement for 20 years with the city of Miami, and I can tell you, I have seen criminals that fit every type and every look.
It surprises me anytime someone commits a crime of this kind. I'm surprised. If it's someone who doesn't have a criminal history, or someone who, it would be harder to explain. That makes it all the more shocking.
Now, police also say that they recovered a car and a firearm that they believe was used in the commission of these two crimes on Tuesday evening. Meanwhile, it turns out that Suarez Maceo is from Southwest Miami-Dade, and he attended, reportedly, Miami Sunset Senior High, again, just 25 years old. Not a good way to end out the year of a devastating series of attacks, one resulting in a murder and the other in a fatal stab.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sierra Patrick. Thank you, sweetheart. All right, that's my second source, Miami, CBS Miami. So you would shoot someone while the car is moving, or did you stop the car and just shoot out of the window? This is crazy to me. I'm already baffled that they have an old case from 2016 that they think he's involved in, which means he was just 19, 20 years old. Okay, now you fast forward to 2021. I'm just baffled at what the hell's going on with this guy. It's like, yeah, property value. Yeah, we know it's very expensive to live in Florida. Okay, what's your point? Just imagine if we all went around shooting people we didn't like, killing people we didn't like. We had an argument and disagreement. They betrayed us, whatever our problem is with them. There will be nobody standing. That's just the way it is. We are not going to like everybody. The way they look, the way they talk. There will be none of us. We would just be recycling each other every few seconds if we went out here and just shot people we didn't like. I don't think they should be in the neighborhood. They shouldn't live across the street from me. I just go over there and shoot him. I don't like that guy at work. I just go over there and shoot him. We're not going to talk about YouTube. Hey, just keeping it real. Crazy. That's source number 2, everybody. Okay. Across the pond was more drama. I'm going to bring you a crazy case out of Australia. For my fans who are in Australia, we're praying for you guys over there as well. Thank you guys so much. This is News 7 coming out of Australia. This was uploaded 1 day ago.
Christmas Day stabbing in the northern suburbs. Police found the suspect hiding in a public toilet at a nearby McDonald's. He's expected to be charged with attempted murder.
Covered in blood and in agony, a horror end to Christmas Day.
I've been stabbed in the ambulance.
Tanny Chai Gom Gom Junde rushed out to help the stabbing victim, who staggered onto her doorstep.
Where do you live? Right down to the tree in the backyard.
She rang the doorbell before collapsing out the front of the home on Ballard Road at Smithfield Plains. The woman had been knifed in the arm and chest and had already tried knocking on other doors for help.
I see that on her arm is have open wound. That's why I put the cloth around her wound to pressure her wound.
Tanny's husband quickly called 000.
Yes, a big hole.
Police say the 29-year-old woman was attacked just after 5 last night. She was rushed to hospital where she remains in a critical but stable condition. A knife believed to have been used in the frenzied attack was found on nearby Hall Street.
I hope to get well and go back to her life.
Her alleged attacker was later found wounded in the bathroom at the Manapara McDonald's. Police say the man allegedly bolted from the restaurant and ran into oncoming traffic, where he was quickly apprehended. The 32-year-old man from Andrews Farm was taken here to the Royal Adelaide to be assessed. He is expected to be charged with attempted murder. Police say it wasn't a random attack. Nathan Rector, 7 News.
Okay. Lady is stabbed. I do not know if she was inside her home or outside her home. I didn't want to show it on this phone because this is a smaller phone because I got my iPad or I got my other stuff on the iPad that I don't want to mess with right now. But she's standing, this is so crazy, in front of someone's door in her t-shirt, shorts, summer shoes, because you know it's warm over there, bleeding. She's bleeding. She's knocked on other people's doors. Nobody would open their door. This lady, looks like an Asian lady, opens her door to help her. She's kneeling down, asking her, you know, how she doing, woo, woo, woo. And obviously, as they're saying in this article, she knows the person. This is not a random attack. So now we have to ask ourselves, was this boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, somebody that liked her? Did she open her door to somebody? Did she step outside? Was she outside gardening? Was she getting out of her car? Because I didn't see a purse or anything, you know, with when she was standing in front of the doorbell camera of this neighbor. But it's sad because she could have died, you know, depending on what, I don't even know what it's about, you know, why this person even stabbed her. But it's scary that she went to neighbors' doors and they wouldn't even open the door, and it's daylight time, not night, daylight. So why didn't anybody open the door? Or is it because it was Christmas? People were gone. You know, what time of day we're talking? 12 o'clock in the afternoon. What are we talking? This is crazy. Thank God this lady opened her door and helped her. Amen. And her husband called 911. Hello. Hi, darling. Thank you. Hello, Crystal. Thank you for joining me. Her husband helped. So thank this lady for calling, having her husband call 911, and going outside that door, taking a chance to help her. Because the next story I'm going to bring you is back here on our soil, and it wasn't nice what was done to these people who helped somebody the other day. A woman was being attacked by her boyfriend. Some guys jumped in to her aid, and we'll leave it at that. It was not nice what was done. Hold on one second. Thank you all for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App, Big Angie. I can't think right now. I think did I go out of town? Because I don't remember what I'm supposed to be saying. God forgive me. $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App. Thank you so much. All super chats are welcome during the live. Queen been trying to relax because I've had no sleep for the past couple of days. I don't know what's going on with me. I need to start going to bed at a decent hour. All this shenanigans going on. You all been chitter-chattering in that comment box. I was trying to answer some of your questions the other night. Okay, you guys. Here's my next story. We're back on American soil now. I don't know why this is not loading up. Hold on. Everything's taking its time. Hold on one second. Let's see. Well, everything's being a little slow today. Christmas. You lived in London. Okay, here we go. I want to make sure I'm bringing you all the stories that I put on the community post. This is on my community post. This was uploaded 4 hours ago. 4 shots, suspect dead after people stopped to help woman during domestic dispute, police say. One second. This is by WUSA 9 News.
This welcome center along I-81 in Frederick County is where Virginia State Police say 4 people were shot yesterday after innocent bystanders stepped in to intervene to help a woman who was involved in a domestic dispute.
Crystal.
This happened literally the day after Christmas.
Virginia State Police say this rest stop in rural Northern Virginia turned into a crime scene Sunday morning. Unsuspecting victims pulling off the road and backing themselves into crossfire, stemming from what state police says was a domestic dispute that turned physical between 34-year-old Cesar Cuevas Avila and his girlfriend. Several men saw what was happening and rushed in to intervene. That's when police say Avila started shooting at his girlfriend and the 3 men who tried to help her. All of them taken to hospitals, all expected to survive, all from out of state. But for the people who call this community home, they were left with unease, not knowing where the shooter went, after police say he took off in a Chevy Malibu.
Hey, Angel.
They didn't know where this guy was, because at that point in time, we didn't know why he did it.
Jason Bunk has lived in the Winchester area all his life, and while at his parents' house, saw the end of the manhunt play out in front of him.
Then all of a sudden, it was just police car after police car after police car. My parents live literally a quarter of a mile from Airport Road.
Airport Road is where VSP says the chase for Avila ended. When police caught up with him, they say they saw shots being fired in the car. And when police got to him, Avila had a gunshot wound. Police say he later died at Winchester Medical Center. It was a disturbing shooting that Funk said had the heaviest law enforcement presence he'd seen in 20 years.
It really puts things into perspective about how crazy the world is right now, and anything can happen anywhere.
I'm told by Virginia State Police there is no update on any of the victims' conditions. As of yesterday, they all had non-life-threatening injuries. In Frederick County, Colby Satterfield, WUSA 9.
Okay, that's out of Virginia. This is crazy to me. A woman and a man are having a dispute, and Good Samaritans decide to jump in to aid her. This guy decides to start shooting everybody, the girlfriend and these strangers. The strangers are not even from Virginia. They're from God knows where else. And they're trying to help her. This is crazy to me. This is crazy to me. Somebody decided to do the right thing, more than one person, and they end up getting shot at by the boyfriend. And then the boyfriend takes off, running down the road, highway, whatever. Police are in pursuit, and he's off to the side of the road. And as they're pulling up, they see gunfire inside of the car. I guess you know the rest. He took his own life, because they're not saying they killed him or shot him. So he killed himself. So you go fight your girlfriend in public, think nobody was going to intervene. Some guys intervene. You decide to shoot the girlfriend and the 3 guys, and then take off running, get chased by the police to only go kill yourself. A coward's way. You are a coward for beating the woman. You're a coward for shooting the woman and the 3 civilians that tried to help her. And then you killed yourself. How noble. Crazy. I've talked to management. They say it's a police matter. Call them. No, it's only a police matter for them to use those calls and complaints to evict her. But in the end, it's up to the landlord to keep letting somebody stay in an apartment that's getting beat up and people are complaining. You understand what I'm saying? See, landlords love to use the police as an excuse for any situation. Call the police, call the police. But the police will tell you, anything that you're dealing with another tenant is a civil matter between you, the tenant, and the landlord. Everybody knows that. Because in the end, it's the landlord who's supposed to orchestrate what's going on the property. The police can only do so much. Somebody could be beating somebody, They'd have to walk up, see, visible, to decide to say, okay, we're going to arrest Joe Blow, Susie Q, whatever. You see where I'm going? Then it's up to that person to decide if they want to press charges. Then the other person get bond, they get out. Then it's starting all back over again, and you're still having to live there amongst all that craziness. I tell anybody, get your house if you can afford one. I tell anybody that. If you can afford to get a house, all young people, please get you one. Don't worry about no Xboxes, iPhones, all that old crazy stuff. Take your coins, get your education, go buy you somewhere to sleep, and you don't have to deal with all of this stupid nonsense. And I'm not saying you can't get rowdy neighbors. Hell, you could be a rowdy neighbor, but you understand what I'm saying? Apartment living is not for everybody. It just is not. There's always something crazy jumping off in apartments, just the way it is. Sometimes neighborhood houses too. There are people who are homeowners and people who rent houses. They have problems too with neighbors, dog issues, traffic issues, drug issues, people who are loud, music. It's going to be always a problem somewhere. But when you live in apartments, there's not very much you can do for yourself. You can just complain till you're blue in the face, and you're going to get tired of that. You're going to get very tired of that. Thank you all. All right, you guys. I brought you a story about a serial killer out of Florida. I brought you a story of a girl getting beat up out of Australia. 3 people. Wait a minute. Serial killer out of Florida. Young lady in Australia. Somebody stabbed her. Don't know who. Haven't heard who it was. Thank God a neighbor helped her. Then this latest story out of Virginia, where a woman is being beat up by her boyfriend and 3 people aid her. And they all get shot, the girlfriend and the 3 guys, but they're all suspected to survive. The shooter shot himself in a car. He killed himself. The next story, and then I'm going to get on to the Wells case, is pertaining to Florida again. Florida has been very busy. I don't know if you all have heard of this story. It's coming out of Palm Beach. I'm going to play you 2 clips of this very pretty lady. This is a lady. She's very pretty. So I got so many devices going out. I don't think you all can see what she looks like. Hold on. They'll show her. They keep jumping off. I don't know why it won't hold her. It won't hold for some reason. But I'm going to go ahead and play you the audio. You can go to my community page, and I have all those videos up on my community page. Real estate agent killed outside of Coral Springs home. Suspect arrested in Boca Raton. This was uploaded 3 days ago. Florida and the real estate situation. I don't know what the hell's going on. We got a real estate serial killer. Now we got a real estate agent being killed. Okay, here we go. Lord Jesus, help me.
Coral Springs real estate agent has been arrested in Boca Raton. Raymond Wesley Reese, accused of shooting Sarah Trost while she was sitting in her car outside a house she was selling in Broward County. Our sister station in the area reports investigators are looking into the possibility the killing was connected to a tenant-landlord dispute.
Thank you, Robin.
He's charged with first-degree murder and will be taken to the Broward Sheriff's Office.
He's in jail, Tracy. Oh, I'm sorry. That story's already off. Let me play that again because that kind of went kind of fast. Hold on. This is just I don't understand what's going on. This is very strange. Here it is again. Let's see.
Realtor found dead inside her car, and a person is now in custody. Local 10's Joseph Ojo is live with what we've learned tonight. Joseph.
So Raymond Wesley Reese, that is the man that police say is responsible for taking the life of that innocent woman as she sat here in this driveway that's right behind me. A massive police presence along the 5700 block of Northwest 48 Court in Coral Springs. Officers descending upon the area around 12:30 Thursday after 40-year-old Sarah Trost was murdered in this driveway.
All of a sudden we heard 2 gunshots. So I turned to my wife and I said, I think that was gunshots.
This neighbor tells us he was in his home on a work meeting when he heard the shots, ran outside and saw blood.
I got a little closer to the Jeep and I saw some blood.
Police tell us Trost was in the driver's seat of the car, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. She was given medical treatment, but sadly, she died from her injuries on scene. While police have not yet confirmed what exactly led up to the shooting, a neighbor says,
There was a disgruntled tenant
who was evicted, he thought the realtor who was showing the home, he thought it was the owner of the house, and she was ambushed. She was sitting in her car.
The shooter, 51-year-old Raymond Wesley Reese, was arrested shortly after in the Boca area.
Wait, what? Like, murdered? Like one of our fosters was murdered. How? What happened? How is this possible?
We are also learning more about Tross from her fellow volunteers at Paw Patrol Animal Rescue and Sanctuary. They tell us she fostered many dogs over the years. She was a lovely woman with a beautiful heart, and days before Christmas, her toddler is now motherless.
Our heart, it goes out to Sarah Michelle, her daughter, her husband Jason, and her whole family, her 4 children, as well as her human child.
And so Reese will be charged with first-degree murder. We also know that he is currently being transported to Palm Beach County for processing. Once we get any more information on this tragedy, we will be sure to update you. In Coral Springs, I'm Joseph Ojo, Local 10 News.
Okay, that this is tragic. Okay, it's bad enough we have a serial killer out of Florida, very nice looking Hispanic male, 25 years of age. He's been linked to a killing in 2016, an attempted murder a few days ago of a homeless person. Now we have this Caucasian lady who's a realtor who was murdered, ambushed inside of her car. The suspect is thought that she was the landlord that evicted him. This makes no sense. So you're just going to go run up to a car and shoot somebody that you don't even know who the hell you're shooting. Hell, if you're going to shoot somebody and get life in prison, don't you think you might want to know who the hell you're shooting? No, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. This is crazy. Anyway, crazy. You've been evicted from this house. The woman is showing the house. And you're going to go lie in wait, thinking it's the landlord, but it's a realtor. So now we have to ask ourselves the ultimate question. How long was it that he was booted out of the house? How long was it when he was evicted out of the house? Hello, everybody. You mean to tell me there was no other place that you can go find the landlord? You didn't know where the landlord lived? I'm not saying he had a right to go kill the landlord, but what I'm saying is, how did you even know who was going to be coming back to that house? So you haven't been watching the house. So how had you been paying your rent? Did you send it to a P.O. box? See, these are interesting questions, because what made him go back to the house to assume that the landlord would be there? Naturally, you would think a landlord might come to check the house out if they're going to be doing work to the house, rehabbing the house, painting, that sort of thing. They come by to check on it to see what all the work has been done to the house, because most landlords will come check on their house, depending on if they've got someone managing the house for them or whatever. See, every situation is not the same in the realty game. So we have to ask ourselves, exactly, yes, he was stalking the place. But see, that's what makes no sense, Patrick. How are you stalking the place, but you don't know who the hell you're shooting? You're shooting the realtor, not the landlord. I'm done. All right. Let's hit it. Rogersville, Tennessee. Boy, y'all been some walkie-talkies today. I already know there's a lot being said pertaining to Miss Wells changing her Facebook post or her location of where she is. This is what I told a commenter in the comment section of my video or post. Donald and Candy Wells will continue to do things for attention because they don't have a life. They've never had a life. They want to be relevant. And so in order for them to remain relevant, they've gotten rid of their child and they're using that child to remain relevant. And that is story time telling, lies, manipulation, playing around with Facebook. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it's just like I've told some of you, because I think a lot of you think this is a game out here. These are diabolical people. They're not well. They're not mentally stable. They are feeding off of one another because they are ill. And as I've told you, if indeed it comes out that the child was murdered, Who's to stop them if they still had their other children from killing their other kids? And I will bring you content to that, to substantiate that comment that I'm giving you right now. Don't think a narcissistic parent who favors one or more children would not kill them. I've been doing my homework before I came on live. My title is Reconstruction of Candy Wells versus Summer Wells versus Filicide. The reason why I gave it this title is because of appearances. Are we talking about a female who is now transforming herself into a man? She's wanting to be a guy. Her mother is masculine, and I'm assuming her mother likes women. Or she could just be a masculine woman who also desires men. I'm not going to say which Candus is or not. You're entitled to think what you want. Candy is emulating Candus. And the issue with the child's hair being cut short is from, I'm going to say, speculations and innuendos. Because until you can bring the queen a receipt of why she cut the child's hair buzzed down, I don't want to hear anything about head lice, cooties, crabs. That shit doesn't mean nothing to me. Do you understand what I'm saying? It means nothing to me. Because anybody can doctor a document and say, this came from the state, this came from Tokyo, this came from the White House. Bring me a receipt. Because what I believe was taking place on 110 Ben Hill Road was Reconstruction of Candus Wells. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? Reconstruction of herself into a guy, and she decided that the self-hate she had for herself, she inflicted upon her girl child by shaving her head to make her look like herself. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? It's called self-reflection. I don't like myself. I don't like the person that I am. At one time, Candus Wells had longer hair, pretty hair, but she decided to cut it all off. Why? It's her choice, it's her business, it's her life. But to cut a girl's child hair down to the nub, for what reason? Because I do believe Candus has cocooned into this masculine figure, such as like her mother. And when she looked at the girl child, who is a pretty girl, beautiful girl, that was a problem. Because one, she can't identify with being a female herself. So she can't identify with one, having a girl child, two, raising a girl child, and three, the ultimate stab in the back. I don't like my girl child. I don't want my girl child. You see, it was inevitable that Summer Wells would go missing. You have to pay attention to the story. Cut through all the BS and all the old crocodile stuff you're hearing and people making up stuff. You have to pay attention to what you're saying. And with the backtracking of all the stories in the past month, which many of us have been doing, the truth is in the pudding and the truth was always there. I will show you audio, video from Don Wells speaking to the news with his boy child, and he has hair. Are you listening? So therefore, the cooties and all of that is a lie. Even if it's the truth, it is the lie. It is a lie pertaining to Summer Wells' head being shaved. Stay woke. No, she's not on the property. Why would she be on the property? Please, y'all stop this foolishness, okay? The FBI has done their job. If you go back and re-listen to the commentary, Robin tells you that they weren't even allowed to go up. to the house. They're not going to let you go walk on the property. There's a child missing. I don't know you. I'm not going to let you go walk nowhere. You're going to stay right here where I can see you. Stay woke. They had dogs. They had aircrafts. They didn't get all those people out there for nothing to let you go, let strangers trample on the property. Stay woke. And I'm not going to address that anymore. The reconstruction of Candy versus Summer versus Filicide is evident. When you go back in time and look at the video of Donald Wells talking to the news, it's illogical. That's why I keep telling you, I don't listen to he said, she said. Bring me a receipt. The proof was there in front of us all along. The boy child has a head full of hair. So if he had cooties and his other siblings had cooties or whatever, why wasn't his head shaved? I'll wait. You see, he was sitting there in front of you all along, and you all still kept passing that rumor along about the cooties and the cooties. Well, if he had cooties, and why does he have hair? He's sitting with his father in front of the news with hair. Are you woke? People do not cut children's hair off because they have cooties, head lice, whatever you want to call it. They treat the hair vigorously with the medicine that's been prescribed by the doctor, pharmacist. And you follow the instructions as you're told to get rid of the lice. And yes, you have to wash everything down in your house. Stay woke. You have to wash everything down, hot water. Kind of like out with the old, in with the new. Are you listening? I don't think you're listening. It's a cleaning process. Kind of like with the bed bugs thing. Same thing. A lot of work you have to do to try to get rid of the bugs once they have infiltrated your house. Whether you brought it in by furniture or they were in a mattress, sofa, it's all the same. Everything has to be clean. It is a vigorous process. Okay? Exactly. Don had hair. So everybody's sleeping in the same house. Exactly. The boy's hair was not buzzed down that I can see. At least this one video. So why would you all keep focusing on that rumor of cooties, lice, blah, 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 from somebody that worked from Department of Human Services? And also, this person is willing to risk their job to leak personal information from the state. How did you get the information? If you're not working on that case, how would you be able to go into the computer and get that file, which isn't under your name because you're not the worker? Or were you the worker? Are you the worker? You think they're not monitoring the computers once the rumor got out on YouTube? Stay woke. I don't deal in rumors. Bring me a receipt. So to combat the rumors of cooties and lice in the Wells house and the shaved head of Summer Wells, exhibit number 1. Summer Wells' father describes evening of 5-year-old's disappearance. This was uploaded 6 months ago by WJHL.
So when her mother come in, she says, "Where's Summer?" She went down in the basement, but she didn't answer, so she went down there and she was gone. So she went out the basement door, which was unlocked, and we haven't seen her since.
This morning, Donald Wells spoke on camera for the first time since his daughter disappeared.
Please, let Summer be okay.
I see hair.
Please come home.
He says it's unlikely Summer would leave the house on her own. Wells says the last time anyone in the family saw Summer was when she entered the house to play in the basement after gardening with her mother and grandmother.
There she is with buzzed hair.
He spoke about his gut feeling about Summer's whereabouts.
Some bad person.
Look at the boy's hair. That's a lot of hair.
Enforcement have covered leads on area sex offenders and drug addicts.
We're trying to beat her brains out. covered everything that we can think of already.
Investigators
Bad
say they have
reflection.
followed up on
Sorry about that.
85 tips so far. Wells says he is overwhelmed by the massive numbers of personnel on site.
I just really appreciate everybody trying to help that they have, law enforcement and all these volunteers that are here. Never seen anything like this in my entire life.
That was John Janko reporting those sentiments shared by Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson, who said he has never seen a show of public.
So she went out the basement door, which was unlocked.
Look at the child's hair.
I've seen her since.
This morning, Donald Wells spoke on camera for the first time since his daughter disappeared.
Please, that Summer be okay. And please come home.
He says it's unlikely
Summer's hair is almost skint to the scalp.
The last time anyone in the family saw Summer was when she entered the house to play in the basement after gardening with her mother and grandmother. Wells also...
Chromebooks have the everything button, so you can find things instantly. Switch to Chromebook.
Summer Wells. Candus, why did you cut the child's hair down short? Why did you cut the child's hair? When you look at the photograph of her and the one picture of her posing by the rocks on the ground, it's almost to the nub, to the scalp. In this interview with the news, he's holding on to the child. The boy child is not looking at the camera or the cameraman or the reporter. His head is down, uncomfortable. Mr. Wells, you had no business having a child there. That's grown folks' business. What was the child feeling? Lots of things, I'm sure. Uncomfortable. He's sitting in front of a camera. How's he supposed to feel? He's not telling us anything. He's not talking about that day. So the child didn't have any business there. But the point of me showing you that is to show you the child had a decent amount of hair on his head. Why not shave down like Summer Wells? Because Candy has an identity issue. And her issue is with herself and being a woman and being a female. And that was not working in her favor, nor having a girl child. And possibly, if we want to believe the rumors that was given by Allie in that interview with Chris Madonna, that she wanted to have somebody raise her child, her mother, but the mother never took her. Why? Grandis, why didn't you take her? Well, you probably didn't do a good job with your girl children, because now let's look at your plight in the world. You're walking around looking like a man yourself, built like a man. Your daughter now has a child missing. Her other children are in the state's care, and your other daughter is missing. Shall I go on? What is your problem? You have issues yourself, Grandis. And now we have Candus walking in your footsteps like a guy. And that is the reason why Summer's hair was cut short. Hell yeah, it was punishment. I don't like myself. I don't like you. I don't like you. Too pretty. Summer is too pretty. You are what I am not. What I never was. And what I can never be. And my husband, baby daddy, favors you more than me. So hell yeah, I got a problem with you. Even though you are my own child, stay woke. Since people love going to the scripture, we're going to have church today. Come on with it, Queen. What does a shaved head mean in the Bible? And this doesn't mean this is any reflection of what I'm saying, but I like to Google. Ezekiel 27:31. They will shave their heads because of you and will put on a sackcloth. What in God's name does it mean? I don't know. They will be over you with anguish of the soul, and it's hard for me to read this, with bitter mourning. Basically, this means shaving the head is a sign of shame. So maybe back in those times, they shaved their head when they were in mourning. It says, in that day, the Lord will use a razor hired from beyond the Euphrates River. Candus, why did you shave the little girl's head? See, I already know, because I had to jog my memory back. And I told Crystal this earlier. I said, Crystal, when Don is talking to the news, that little boy's hair is not shaved close to his head. He's got a little bit of hair, way more than what Summer had. You know, a few inches more. Why? So this is why I kept trying to tell you all. How you doing, Angela? Thank you. Welcome. Stop believing the gossip and the hype about what Pookie said and Bubba said. Bring a receipt. The other boys had hair. I possibly need to go back in to see if I can find the picture with David Dotson so I can see the picture of the boy's hair. Let me pull that up. Let me read you some things, and then I will go find that picture as well. Thank you for joining me. This is an issue. Candus is in battle with herself, and Summer was in the way of the battle. Yes, thank you all so much. Merry Christmas to all of you. Happy New Year. Well, she doesn't want to be pretty. PsychologyToday.com is source number one. Thank you for joining me. I always got to bring you a bit of knowledge. I just don't speak of my own opinion. I'll let the experts speak. This is uploaded February 19, 2018 by Psychology Today. Our mother is our first love. She is our introduction to life and to ourselves. She is our lifeline to security. We initially learn about ourselves and our world through interactions with her. We naturally long for her physical and emotional sustenance, her touch, her smile, and her protection. Her empathetic reflection of our feelings, wants, and needs informs us who we are and that we have value. A narcissistic mother who cannot empathize damages her children's healthy psychological development. Like Narcissus in the Greek myth, she sees only, like Narcissus, sorry about that. In the Greek myth, she sees only a reflection of herself. There is no boundary of separateness between her and her children, whom she cannot see as unique individuals worthy of love. Interesting. Symptoms of narcissism that make up narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, vary in severity, but they inevitably compromise the narcissist's ability to parent. The following are some of the characteristics and consequences of having a narcissistic mother. Notice that they unwittingly get repeated in adult abusive relationships, including relationships with narcissists, because they're familiar. It feels like family. Exactly. We mimic what we've been taught, what we've learned, and what we've been subjected to, many of us. Number one, lack of boundaries. Some of the effects on daughters are different than on sons because girls usually spend more time with their mother and look to her as a role model. Narcissistic mothers tend to see their daughters both as threats and as annexed to their own egos. Through direction and criticism, they try to shape their daughter into a virgin. Wait a minute, Queen, they don't hear you. Wait a minute. Don't do it. Are you listening? Through direction and criticism, they try to shape their daughter into a version of themselves or their idolized self. Period. At the same time, they project onto their daughter not only unwanted aspects of themselves, such as self-centeredness, obstinance, selfishness, and coldness, but also dislike traits of their own mothers. Repeat. Dislike traits of their own mothers. They may prefer their son, although they can harm him in other ways, such as through emotional incest. Number 2, narcissistic abuse. Repeated shaming and control undermine the developing identity of a young girl, creating insecurity. She cannot trust her own feelings and impulses and concludes that it's her fault, that her mother is displeased with her, unaware that her mother will never be satisfied. In severe cases of emotional or physical abuse or neglect, a daughter may feel she has no right to exist, is a burden to her mother, and should never have been born. If not also abusive, often husbands of narcissistic women are passive and don't protect their daughters from maternal abuse. Some mothers lie and hide their abuse. A daughter doesn't learn to protect and stand up for herself. She may feel defenseless or not even recognize mistreatment later in life. Number 3, toxic shame. She rarely, if ever, feels accepted for just being herself. She must choose between sacrificing herself and losing her mother's love. A pattern of self-denial and accommodation is replayed as codependency in adult relationships. Ting! Stay woke. Her real self is rejected, first by her mother and then by herself. The consequence is internalized shame based on the belief that her real self is unlovable. How could she be worthy of love when her own mother didn't love and accept her? Children are supposed to love their mothers and vice versa. A daughter's shame is compounded by anger or hatred toward her mother that she doesn't understand. She believes it's further evidence of her badness and that all her mother's criticisms must be true. Never feeling good enough, her life is one of continual striving and lack of fulfillment. Since love must be earned, her adult relationships may repeat a cycle of abandonment. Number 4, emotional unavailability. Emotional comfort and closeness that normal maternal tenderness and caring provide is absent. Narcissistic mothers may tend to their daughter's physical needs but leave her emotionally bereft. The daughter doesn't realize what's missing but longs for warmth and understanding from her mother that she may experience with friends or relatives or witness in other mother-daughter relationships. She yearns for an elusive connection, felt fleetingly or never. She doesn't learn to identify and value her emotional needs, nor know how to meet them. What remains is a sense that something is missing and an inability to nurture and comfort herself. She may look to fill it in other relationships, but often the pattern of emotional unavailability is repeated. Number 5, control. Parents with MPD are myopic. The world revolves around them. They control and manipulate their children's needs, feelings, and choices when they can, and take it as a personal affront, deserving of punishment when they can't. Parenting is often my way or the highway. Self-involvement leads some narcissistic mothers to focus only on themselves or their sons and neglect or deprive their daughters. Other mothers want their daughter to look and be her best, according to them, but cripple their daughter in the process through criticism and control. Such mothers attempt to live through their daughter, who they see as an extension of themselves. They want her to dress and behave just as they do, and to choose boyfriends, hobbies, and work that they would choose for her own good They might forbid or criticize whatever their daughter likes or wants, undermine her ability to think for herself, to know what she wants, to choose for herself, and to pursue it. Their attention on their daughter is accompanied by their envy and expectations of gratitude and accomplice. In adult relationships, these daughters often are in controlling relationships or get into unnecessary power struggles. Number 6, competition. Believing she is the fairest one of all, or fearing that she's not, motivates narcissistic mothers to not only criticize her daughter, but to compete with her daughter for her husband's and son's love. These mothers may deny or not protect their daughter if they abuse her. They may restrict or disparage her boyfriends because they're not good enough, yet nevertheless compete for their attention and flirt with them. Wow, that's deep. To be in control and number one in their daughter's life, they may invade their daughter's privacy and undermine her relationships with friends and other relatives. Number 7, recovery. Recovery from the trauma of growing up with feelings of rejection and shame takes time and effort. Ultimately, it means recovery from codependency. It starts with identifying and understanding that the shaming messages and beliefs transmitted from mother to daughter are untrue. Replacing the internalized negative maternal voice, the internal critic, with self-nurturing comes next. The author of this piece that I just brought to you is by Darlene Lancer, JD MFT. She's a licensed marriage and family therapist and an expert and author on relationships and codependency. Darlene Lancer. If you would like to find any more of her work, that is the said author of this information by Psychology Today. I want to recap on some things that Ms. Lancer said that are very pivotal in this piece. Narcissistic mothers, and I do believe this is Candus, tend to see their daughters both as threats and an annex to their own egos. Through direction and criticism, they try to shape their daughter into a version of themselves or their idealized self. At the same time, they project onto their daughter not only unwanted aspects of themselves, such as self-centeredness, obstinance, selfishness, and coldness, but also dislike traits of their own mothers. They may prefer their son, although they can harm him in other ways, such as through emotional incest. Thank you. Psychology Today is the source for that information. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Miss Broomer. Thank you, baby. You see, we are a product of the people who brought us here, the people who have raised us, the people who paths we've crossed from childhood to early adulthood. So we take things from how we were raised into the world. If you were criticized, you will probably be critical. You're around mean-spirited people, there's a possibility you'll be mean. Short-tempered, you'll possibly be short-tempered. Every child will be different. Then you'll have over here this child who won't take any of those traits from his mother, father, grandparents, whoever raised him. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a flip of the coin. And everyone knows that your identity is formed as a child. So it's not your fault if you are short-tempered. Maybe that's what you were taught. That's all you saw. People holler, cuss, fuss. Then you picked it up along the way. Could have been early in life, could have been late. Do you understand? But empathy, oh my. You want to have that. You got to have it to sustain yourself. Because if you cannot empathize, you are in a world of trouble. You are that person that will watch a person run into a burning building and feel nothing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Somebody got hit by a bus. You're standing there watching, feeling nothing. You don't want to be that person. And sadly, many people are this type of person because of their child rearing. They came from narcissistic people And sadly, they became narcissistic adults because you emulate what you see, what you hear. And if you're around people with nothing inside from birth up until 18, what are the chances that you would have grown a heart? Do you understand? What are your chances? Thank you. Thank you, Janet. As most of you know, human remains has been found in Knox County off of Andrew Johnson Highway. Many of you have commented pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells. We will wait to see what the forensic team comes back with pertaining to those remains. I do not know what the remains are. I will have to wait just like everybody else. But naturally, many of you were wondering and pondering, so I'll go ahead and mention that in this live. Yes, the remains are just an hour away from 110 Ben Hill Road. I'm going to go ahead and say that because you know I already Googled. Shut your mouth. When the search team went back this last time, they didn't come up with anything. I brought you commentary where Sheriff Lawson finally says it out of his own mouth. We were looking for some type of evidence. Why? Back there, Sheriff Lawson. And as one of you have said, and probably a few more, maybe she was moved. I don't know. Where did the call come from? I brought you that commentary as well. Did Candy make the call on the property or off the property? Did she time it? I've been a busy bee. Did she time it from the times that she's called 911? Come on, Queen. And she knew how long it would take to get an ambulance. Are you following me? I've dealt with the law before. I know they don't just run up the hill when I call. So Candus Blywells, I'm going to ask you directly. Did you time the phone call? Because you've been dealing with law enforcement for some time back there. And you know how long it would take to get either the police or an ambulance back there. So I'm going to ask you again, Heifer, did you call 911 from 110 Ben Hill Road, or did you call from down the street around the corner? Where were you? And if you called from the property, why didn't you use your cell phone? Oh, come on, you can tell me. I won't tell anybody. I can keep a secret. I've told many of you about her talking to social media, Dawn specifically. That's a waste of time listening to them. But I can finally say now, after going back over the Chris Madonna interviews, you sealed your fate when you opened your mouth to Chris Madonna. Oh, yes. You sealed your fate. Because the comment about the phone, throwing it in the truck, and going to use Grandis's phone, you threw yourself under the bus, Miss Lady. Because now you have to explain why on that day, your phone did not work. But yet you stay on your phone calling and texting people. You have to have some type of business with doctors, other agents, entities. So what phone do you use when you have to take care of grown folks' business? Do you always go and use Grandis's telephone, Candy? Stay woke. Hell no. 30 feet away in the camper, she's not going to want you to always keep coming over there to use her phone. Don't you think mommy would say, we've got to get you better cell service. I can hook you up on my plan. Ting. Are you listening? It's enough for them to be on a family plan on the same carrier. I don't hear anybody. Candus. You see, this all you have to do in solving true crime is to sit and think it out. Word by word, step by step. Repeat it. Ask yourself, does it make sense? Go back in, dissect the next sentence. Repeat it. Repeat it to somebody else. Ask yourself, ask that person, does this make sense? So you talking to Chris Madonna, you told on yourself. And all the extra explaining of that day, all lies. Because you didn't have the one thing I'm talking about right now. No empathy. No emotion. You spoke matter-of-factly about Summer Wells, which is disturbing, considering we're 6 months in and she's still missing. Matter-of-factly. We went here, we went there, we did this. Oh, the pillow. Oh, well, mommy don't like when they're wet and, huh? Where are the tears? There are people with missing children and family members 20 years down the road. They're still crying when they spin the story of when they last talked to them, when they last saw them, heard their voicemail. Alive or deceased, missing, doesn't matter. They cry when they say their name. You don't. Don doesn't either. Why is that? Lord have mercy. The next source is by World Psychiatry. Child murder by mothers, patterns and prevention. Abstract. The tragedy of maternal filicide or child murder by mothers has occurred throughout history and throughout the world. This review of the research literature sought to identify common predictors in the general population as well as in correctional and psychiatric samples. Further research is needed to improve identification of children and mothers at risk. Infanticide laws are discussed. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Suggestions for prevention are made based on the current literature and the author's experiences. Filicide, infanticide, child homicide. When a young child is murdered, the most frequent perpetrator is a victim's parent or step-parent. Did you hear that? Do I need to read that again? Number one, when a child is murdered, the most frequent perpetrator is a victim's parent or step-parent. Ding, thank you. Rates of infanticide parallel suicide rates rather than murder rates. 2, the risk of being a homicide victim is highest during the first year of life. 3 to 5. Though the U.S. has the highest rates of child homicide, 8.0 per 100,000 for infants, 2.5 per 100,000 for preschool-age children, and 1.5 per 100,000 for school-age children. The problem of child homicide transcends national boundaries. Number 6, these rates of child murder are probably underestimates due to inaccurate coroner rulings and some bodies never being discovered. That's 4, 7, and 8. Maternal filicide is defined as child murder by the mother. Infanticide is child murder in the first year of life. The term neonaticide was coined by Resnick, number 9, to describe murder of an infant within the first 24 hours of life. Almost all of neonaticides are committed by mothers. Neonatal mothers, often young, unmarried women with unwanted pregnancies who receive no prenatal care. For a detailed analysis of the neonaticide literature and a discussion of this prevention, the reader is referred to our recent review, number 10. Resnick's review of the world psychiatric literature on maternal filicide, number 11, found filicidal mothers to have frequent depression, psychoses, prior mental health treatment, and suicidal thoughts. Maternal filicide perpetrators have 5 major motives. In an altruistic filicide, a mother kills her child out of love. She believes death to be in the child's best interest. For example, a suicidal mother may not wish to leave her motherless child to face an intolerable world, or a psychotic mother may believe that she is saving her child from a fate worse than death. B. In an acutely psychotic filicide, a psychotic or delirious mother kills her child without any comprehensible motive. For example, a mother may follow command hallucinations to kill. C. When fatal maltreatment filicide occurs, death is usually not the anticipated outcome. It results from cumulative child abuse, neglect, or Munchausen syndrome by proxy. D. In an unwanted child filicide, a mother thinks of her child as a hindrance. The most rare, which is E, spouse revenge filicide occurs when a mother kills a child specifically to emotionally harm that child's father. In developing countries, the preference for male infants may lead to sex-selective killings. This is 12 and 13. Cultural and legal differences across countries may affect research findings. For example, one country's correctional sample may be similar to another country's psychiatric sample, depending on the laws and attitudes toward prosecution. The purposes of this paper are to summarize recent research findings about maternal filicide and to consider potential strategies for prevention. The authors completed database searches for peer-reviewed articles in English regarding maternal filicide over the past quarter century. Studies were separated by population type, as in our previous analysis, number 14, because studies in the general population differ from those in psychiatric or correctional populations. Maternal filicide suicide, a mother kills both her child and herself, was considered independently. Maternal filicide research findings. Countries represented in the English literature filicide search were Australia, Austria, Brazil, Canada, Finland, France, Hong Kong, Japan, Ireland, New Zealand, Sweden, Turkey, United Kingdom, and the United States. In addition to studies of the mothers who have committed filicide 3, 4, 15 through 55, several studies have investigated the prevalence of filicidal thoughts in various populations. Infanticide. An American macro-level study of infanticide victims in the first year of life found increased rates with economic stress. It's number 24. Although England and Wales have infanticide acts and Scotland does not, the countries experience similar rates of infanticide 3 and 38. Maternal infanticide studies in the general population 20, 38, 44, and 45 found a predominance of unemployed mothers in their early 20s. Many cases occurred in the context of child abuse, number 4, though some mothers had associated suicide attempts. Often they experienced psychiatric disorders, 36 to 72%, and this is number 44 and 45. In Japan, the infant victims frequently had physical anomalies. General population studies of maternal filicide. The mothers were often poor, socially isolated, full-time caregivers who were victims of domestic violence or had other relationship problems. Disadvantaged socioeconomic backgrounds and primary responsibility for the children were common. Persistent crying or child factors were sometimes precipitants for the filicide. Some mothers had previously abused the child, while others were mentally ill and devoted to their child, number 41. Neglectful or abusive mothers were often substance abusers. Many of the perpetrators had psychosis, depression, or suicidal. Lord, these words are killing me. Suicide. 15, 16, 18, 20, 28, 40 through 43, 45, 48, 51, 52. Oh, Lord, all these numbers. Correctional samples of maternal filicide. In the correctional population, filicidal mothers were frequently unmarried, unemployed, abuse victims who had limited education and social support, 29 through 33, 46 to 47, 53, and 54. These are all numbers in this study. Some had decrease in intellect, and a few considered the child victim to be abnormal. Several correctional studies noted frequent depression, psychosis, substance abuse, suicidality, and prior mental health care. 33, 46, 47, 53, and 54. Multiple stressors, economic, social abuse history, partner relationship problems, primary caregiver status, and difficulty caring for the child were frequent. Psychiatric samples of maternal filicide. The filicidal mothers in psychiatric samples had frequently experienced psychosis, depression, suicide, and prior mental health care. Their mean age was in their late 20s. Some were diagnosed with personality disorders, and some had low intelligence. Significant life stresses were often noted. A recent study of mothers found not guilty by reason of insanity in 2 U.S. states found that the perpetrators were often depressed and frequently experienced auditory hallucinations, some of a command type. Over 1/3 of the homicides occurred during pregnancy or the postpartum year. Almost all the mothers had altruistic or acutely psychotic motives. A small New Zealand study that interviewed the mothers after their filicides found that psychotic mothers who had committed filicide often killed suddenly without much planning, whereas depressed mothers had contemplated killing their children for days to weeks prior to their crimes. Maternal filicide/suicide. A significant proportion, 16 to 29% of filicides end in completed suicide by the mother. Many other mothers make non-fatal suicide attempts in association with their filicide. When mothers of young children commit suicide, about 5% also kill at least one of their children. Filicides, suicides have much in common with filicides committed by severely mentally ill mothers. Most frequently, these mothers have altruistic motives, similar to results of other studies. Our recent American study found that maternal filicide suicide perpetrators killed older children more often than infants. Mean age of children killed was 6 years old. The mothers often had evidence of depression or psychoses. These mothers often take the lives of all their children. Prevalence of filicidal thoughts. A relatively high incidence of filicidal thoughts has been found in mentally ill women. Jennings et al.'s study of depressed mothers with children under age 3 found that 41% had thoughts of harming a child, compared with 7% of mothers in the control group. A pediatric study of mothers in the general population found that 70% of mothers with colicky infants experienced explicit aggressive thoughts toward their infants, and over a quarter, 26%, of them had infanticidal thoughts during colic episodes. An Indian study, 61, of hospitalized severely mentally ill postpartum women found that 43% had infanticidal ideation. 36% of these women engaged in some type of infanticidal behavior. Their behavior was associated with negative maternal reaction to separation, psychotic beliefs about the infant, the female sex of the infant. Our recent survey of psychiatrists at 2 American academic institutions found that many psychiatrists do not specifically ask their patients who are mothers about thoughts of harming their children, but rather they inquire generally about homicidal thoughts. The survey psychiatrists frequently underestimated the prevalence of depressed mothers who have thoughts of harming their children. Infanticide laws. The laws often reduce the penalty for mothers who kill their children up to 1 year of age, based on the principle that a woman who commits infanticide does so because the balance of her mind is disturbed by reason of her not having fully recovered from the effect of giving birth to the child. The British Infanticide Act of 1922, amended in 1938, allows mothers to be charged with manslaughter rather than murder if they are suffering from a mental disturbance. The law was originally based on the outdated concept of lactational insanity, but the public's desire to excuse sympathetic women caused reluctance to alter the law after lactational insanity was discredited. Women convicted of infanticide often, receive probation and referral to mental health treatment rather than incarceration. Approximately 24 countries currently have infanticide laws: Australia, Austria, Brazil, Canada, Colombia, Finland, Germany, Greece, Hong Kong, India, Italy, Japan, Korea, New Zealand, Norway, Philippines, Sweden, Switzerland, Turkey, and the United Kingdom. The majority of nations that have infanticide laws have followed the British precedent and decreased the penalty for mothers killing children under 1 year old. However, the legal definition of infanticide varies among countries. The murder of children up to age 10 is included in New Zealand. In practice, however, women convicted of infanticide in England sometimes do not have significant mental illness as technically required by the law. Opponents of infanticide laws point out that fathers are granted far less leniency. A father who is frequently psychotically depressed as a mother who kills his 10-month-old child in an altruistic psychotic belief with an associated suicide attempt should not be treated differently than a similarly situated mother. Some feminists criticize the laws for pathologizing childbirth. They believe that making this exception for women denies them the same capacity for self-governance attributed to men. Furthermore, it is illogical that a mother who in the throes of postpartum psychosis killed her newborn and her 2-year-old should be charged with infanticide manslaughter for the homicide of the newborn and murder for the homicide of the 2-year-old. If the U.S. had an infanticide law, Andrea Yates would not have qualified because in addition to her infant, she killed her 4 older children. An acutely psychotic mother who killed her 13-month-old child would not qualify for the infanticide law in England, though a mother who battered her 11-year-old child might. Okay. Then it goes on to talk about prevention and conclusions. It is very long. I didn't mean to take up this much time with reading all this. But I'm going to read the conclusion. And feel free to read this if you want. A mother's motive for filicide may be altruistic, acutely psychotic, or due to fatal maltreatment, unwanted child, or spouse revenge. In addition, many mothers who do not attempt filicide experience thoughts of harming their child. Maternal filicide motives provide a framework for approaching filicide prevention. Suicidality, psychosis, and depression elevate risk, as does a history of child abuse. Mentally ill filicidal mothers have very different risk profiles than mothers who fatally batter their children. Prevention is difficult because many risk factors such as maternal depression and social disadvantage are common among non-filicidal mothers. This information, sorry it was so long, it's by World Psychiatry. I'm an hour and 27 minutes in. Okay. Who done this? It sounds like misinformation. What are you all talking about down there? Yes, it's a bit winded, but I want to give you the different throes of this maternal filicide, because with it are different reasons that a mother would kill her kid. You've got, like they said, the one who's suicidal, depressed. You got the one that's got some type of psychosis. They're all different. And that is true, that a lot of women kill their children for different reasons. Some it's religious, some it's they're schizophrenic. You see what I'm saying? All different reasons. But the one thing I want to make clear is that most children who are killed they are killed by their parents and by their step-parents. And that's that. And yes, revenge on the dad. Thank you. I'll hold off on the other information. I'm going to drop the link if you want to give your opinion pertaining to where this case is possibly going, where it's not going, all this extra stuff that's still the fluff of this story, that's still outrageous to me, that the story has never really been about Summer Wells. It's been about her biological donors. That's what it's been about. It was never about her, never about her brothers. And I do believe it was a personal vendetta to get rid of the child. That's my personal feelings. I do not believe it was an accident. I don't have any proof, but I don't think it was an accident. Because like I said in my last slide, all the children that they've had total, all those children lived, they are alive to our knowledge. Are you understanding what I'm saying? How, out of all the children you have had, separate together, this one female child cannot be found or located? It's bullshit. It's just bull. One second, please. Thank you for joining me. Now, what are you talking about? Justice, what is going on with you? I dare not ask. Lord Jesus. I'm sure there are more rumors circulating. I tell you not to focus on that stuff because this is just a waste of time. That's the reason why the case is in the shape that it's in, with all the internet mess. You hear it clicking though. That's my clock up there making that noise in here. Okay. Thank you, Donna. Thank you all for being patient with the information. Because, you know, when you read these articles, you never know how winded they're going to be. But I wanted to just bring you a little bit of information pertaining to women who kill their children, narcissistic mothers. It is believed that women who kill their children, they are believed to be narcissistic mothers. And so I wanted to bring you that content so you can get an idea of what type of female would murder their child. I do believe the child was murdered. That is what I believe. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Thank you all so much. Hit the link. You want to give your opinion pertaining to whatever. Information I brought to you earlier about the violence here at Christmas time, how sad it is we having all this violence lately. This country is a violent country, Christmas or no Christmas. But you would think people would say to themselves, you know, hey, let me try to keep myself calm, keep my attitude, my disposition down. Obviously not. And in this case here with this child, like I said, the case was never about Summer Wells. It has never been about Summer. It's been about the Candy and Don, Gong show. It's never been about her. And no matter what you're seeing on social media with her changing her location, her locale, thank you, honey. She's just doing that for you all because she knows you're going to go run back and repeat it on Facebook group, YouTube. And like I told you, this is all for show. Everything that they're doing is so you can go run back and repeat it like what you're doing now. You're in my chat telling me something that Pookie said, she did. All this stuff they do is for attention. Don't you think if these people really cared about their child or children, they would be doing something more productive with their time besides changing their locale on their Facebook page, their Facebook account? Don't you have something better you can do, Candy? Don? No, you don't. because you didn't have anything to do before your child went missing, before your children got taken. That's the point. And I want to know why you shaved the child's head. That's really my issue with her. I believe she has some issues. Mental, internal, self-hatred, mimicking her mother, which spun into shaving that little girl's head. More than just punishment. She was letting the child know she didn't like her. And that's what I'm feeling right now. She doesn't like her girl child. And that is why you don't see Summer Wells. Because Candy got rid of her. You see, you got to read between the lines. The other boys have hair on their heads. They had hair on their heads on June 15th. We see that with the boy child standing in front of the camera with Donald Wells. Why didn't he have a buzzed head? Self-hate. Candy has never liked herself. She didn't like that girl. And although the child is a product of her, a prettier version of she, Candy couldn't have that. Revenge against the father? Possibly. Didn't like the fact that he favored the girl child? Possibly. Something else going on felonious with he and the child? I don't know. But I believe it was self-hatred. And hatred she put towards the child. And she knocked her child off. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, jealousy. All of those things. She never liked herself. She turned into a boy, a man. The very reason why she was in the company of Boy H. She has not had a childhood, such as R. Kelly, Michael Jackson. It's all the same. And they ended up being involved in alleged, some will say, felonious behavior with children, allegations of sex with children, child molestation, child rape. Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, stay woke. Because each were never children. So they fancied children when they became adults. That is why she took in the company of Boy H. She's never been a child. I do not know how bad her childhood was, but I would assume it wasn't the best. So Candy longs to be a child, to relive childhood. She didn't have a childhood that was favorable. So the only thing she can do is go into Messenger, TikTok, Snapchat, and talk to a child. For what reason? And there's nothing wrong with being close to someone younger than you, but you have to also know to stay in your damn lane. And there's no reason for a grown woman to be holding sexual conversations with a boy child. What type of woman will talk about a boy touching himself? That is inappropriate talk. And that is why she had no business talking to him. Because as you see, she's immature and she's ignorant. And this is the same heifer that is somebody's mother. Minus 4 now. Very creepy. Very creepy. Hit the link. Thank you. I do believe that she shaved the child's head to make her like herself. Candy had a shaved head, and she wanted Summer to do the same, to be the same. This is who I am, so you should also walk behind me as like me. Candy is reconstructing herself into a guy. Did you not notice that in the Chris Madonna interviews? It was hideous to me. to watch a grown woman transform herself into a guy. Athletic shorts, t-shirt, socks with flip-flops, chewing tobacco. Are you serious? And that's what you saw for Summer. Because that's what you saw for yourself. So Summer is going to walk in the same light. You all don't find it strange everybody had short hair? Let her tell it. Stay woke. Easy excuse because she knew people would judge her for shaving the child's hair. She didn't tell you that children had cooties, lice. Wouldn't it be easy to just go ahead and say it? You already took us up your nasty house. Thank you, Tupelo. You already took us up a nasty house with Chris Madonna. So really, would it be any shame for her to go ahead and just admit, yeah, one of the kids got lice. I was worried about the other ones getting it, or some of the other ones got it. So I went on to cut all the children's hair down. And I went on to cut my hair too. That's not what she told you. That's not what she told you. She didn't really give a good excuse for why she cut her hair down. She just basically said she wanted to look like me or some mess. I don't believe all that. Why would a girl want to look like you, Candy? When she was with Robin in church, all she did was stroke that woman's hair and her face. You have to admit, Summer's behavior in church is very peculiar. The way she looked at Robin and was stroking that woman's hair, it was as if she had never even been around a female before. Stay woke. Her behavior was strange to me. Children will, as babies, pull on earrings, things like that. Okay? But not to the extent of 5 years old acting more like a 1-year-old in the company of a female. You have to admit, Summer actually behaved like an infant who did not know anything. If you paid attention to those videos, her behavior was very infantile. And that told me a lot about what was going on in the household with Don and Candy. There was no femininity in the house. And that's why she behaved the way she did in the company of Robin.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I can't hear you, sweetie.
You can't hear me?
Mm-mm.
How about now? Audio.
Hello?
That ball, you used it for something. Hello? Hi, how are you doing? Do you hear me?
That's right. That's my fault. My volume was down. I don't even know how anybody heard me. My volume was down that low. Oh my God. I apologize. I didn't even know my volume was down that low. Sorry about that, you guys. Well, my volume was down, and I'm sitting here. I've been talking so much, I didn't even know my volume was down. Oh, I apologize. Sorry. Because I was looking at you. I was like, I can't hear.
I love your channel, and everything you're saying makes sense to me. And
thank you.
What I don't understand, I'm a nurse, so I know, like, I had a daughter that had lice once before, and you wouldn't do that to your daughter. You would take them to like a place, like they get rid of that, so you don't have to make your daughter look terrible. Yeah, I would never shave my child's head like that.
Okay, well, let me ask you, a
13-year-old daughter, but this happened.
I'm going to ask each one of you the same question. So I'm going to ask you first. What reason do you think that she shaved Summer's hair off.
Because she's abusing her, and she wants to make her feel terrible, and she's a nasty mother. She's
Abusing her
nasty,
how?
and she's
Physically,
abusive.
mentally? When you say abuse,
Everything by
describe to me.
not even I'm a nurse, and to not even to bathe your child, to give them hygiene, to make them look like that, to not properly feed that child. To me, the looking at the child that so amazing, the shaved head. Do you know what she looked like? She looked like a kid that stepped out of a concentration camp, to be quite honest with you. She looked like one of those little Auschwitz kids that was in a one of those really, to me, with the skinny, not eating. It was total abuse, like in a prison environment for that child. That was total abuse. The school failed her. I work as a substitute school nurse. If we saw kids in the school like that, we would have to report something. Not being fed.
That is your job. That's your job. Whether you're a nurse or you a school teacher or your Sunday school teacher or Sabbath day teacher, it's all the same.
But they didn't do their job. Some heads have to roll.
So let's go here. So you don't think that one person ever called from the church or neighbors? Let's go there. You don't think not one person ever?
Well, I'm sure they did.
DHS.
Well, look, everything is so corrupt today. People don't do anything. Your state, your politicians, everything down the line, people are not doing their job. Especially now with the COVID, kids locked down, not being looked after. Maybe not in school, all doing virtual. They're not being. No one's paying attention to what's going on with these kids today. Not that it's the state's job. There's, on the other hand, people don't want the state in their business because they feel that they're the parent and they don't need anybody raising their child, because it's their kid. It's not the state's child. But these kids are terrible straits, and you have to strike a balance. But a lot of people don't want to get involved. They're living in a very isolated area where people aren't seeing them. But people did hear things going on, and people don't want to get involved today. I'll tell you, they don't want to step up because they don't want to say anything. They don't want people, and they don't want to stand. They don't want to go to a trial. People see an accident, they just keep walking. They don't want to get involved.
If they have some proof of any type of abuse and anything you've told them, they will ask you to go to court. Because I had that happen once years ago. I had to go to court, and it was buffoonery. They let them keep the child.
I'm just saying that I agree, but I agree with all of your insights are spot on, and what you're saying makes sense because the inconsistencies. You really, spell it out. You really illustrate to people that are watching your channel, and it really creates more awareness. And I really hope, more people hear this, and hopefully law enforcement's hearing you. I hope there's no shenanigans, like no pun intended, about the police being, maybe have be related to John Wells. I heard that there's like a kin that they may have some nepotism or something
Let me
going
ask you about
on.
that.
Where
do you feel there's biasness with Sheriff? I'm about to call him Cal City Lawson.
I've heard from another channel. I don't plug channels.
I'm asking you. Do you think there's biasness? No. I'm asking you. Do you think there's biasness?
There could be. I'm not. There probably could be, because if it was somebody else, they might not let them get away with it.
But I'm asking you though. What do you think?
I think so, because if there wasn't bias, then this guy would be behind bars with all of the stuff he's done, with the DUI, with all the way they've treated their children. I think the whole totality of it means that they should be behind bars, that these people should not be out and about, free to roam the streets, driving drunk, do whatever, doing drugs,
giving children alcohol.
Right, and also that's just terrible. And also the state of their house. How are they given a pass? if you see houses like that in my neighborhood or whatever, or something, like, get a house that looked like crap. These people were made to clean it up because it was an eyesore and it was not up to code. It wasn't safe. And how do you have a house that with those kinds of stairs and exposed wires? That could have caused a fire. And that's where's the permits? Where were the town inspectors? There's they were given a lot of passes, and they really shouldn't be getting away with it. And they have a lot of crimes from state to state. This guy is hopping from state to state, doing all these terrible things, and he's getting away with it. It's like Teflon Don the Con. He really should not be getting away with this anymore. It's 30 years of crap that he's done, and he needs to be in jail already. And so does Candus. Candus has a lot on her, background that she shouldn't be roaming the streets either. These people do not belong out in public. It's time for them. The chickens have to come home to roost already. So it was nice talking to you. I just wanted to.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I can go on your stream, and I just found you. And I think you're amazing in what you're doing.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
Holidays.
Take care. You're welcome. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
You too.
All right, Miss.
Bye.
Okay, honey. Thank you so much. Okay.
Hi.
Miss Jenny, welcome. Let's start with the obvious question. Why do you think she shaved Summer's hair off?
I think it is because she was jealous of her and the attention Don gave to her, because Don talked about having a good relationship with her and everything like that, and I felt that attention was being taken away from her. So therefore she was like, I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna shave my kid's head,
Okay. So spite the father, spite her, spite, I don't like this child, I don't want this child. What is your take on the possible reason for shaving the child's hair off?
I mean, I would never do that. I have a child that's 18. I've never, even when she was younger, I'd never shave her head. I wouldn't. No, I don't.
Just in your mind, if you could think of a reason a woman would shave her 5-year-old child's hair, what would come to mind to you?
Maybe head lice, body lice,
Besides head lice.
Besides head lice, I don't know, honestly.
That's why I showed you all earlier a video of Don talking to the news with the boy child. The boy child has more hair than Summer. So now think about whoever put the rumor out that they worked for CPS and leaked out that they had cooties and lice. That can't be true, because the boy has more hair than Summer had when she was last seen alive.
Well, the thing is, I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think Candus wanted a girl.
Okay.
I think that she wanted a boy, so she wanted to make Summer look like a boy.
Okay.
Like her.
So let's go there then, since you open that door. Why would she not want a girl?
Why would she what?
Why would she not want a girl child?
I would say because, I mean, it's just like I said, it's not like receipts or anything of that she didn't want a girl, but I guess, I mean, I've heard that she never wanted a girl, that she just wanted boys. And yeah. But I mean, I've been following the case.
Do you believe what they were saying? That girl, Allie, and what's the other lady named Lisa? Is that her name? That did that interview with Chris Madonna? Listen to that jealousy and knowing her husband's preferences. Wow, Renee, that's deep. So you all still banking that this man touched his child? Because that's a hell of an allegation. Because like I tell people, scratch what he did with the girls as a young boy up to teenager. Is he also a pedophile? You understand what I'm saying? A grown pedophile. Because as children, you don't know any better unless you're taught. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
You know that children touch each other when they're younger. So let's say it's a grown Don. Did he go into adulthood touching children? See, somebody's got to tell that.
Yeah, I know. We don't have any receipts for that yet.
That's what I tell people.
So you can't make accusations.
You got to have a child. Somebody come and say, he touched my child. When I was a little girl, he touched me. as a grown man, not
I don't know what to think about
not a
those.
teenager.
I don't
Yeah.
know what to think about those stepsisters, but like what their point of everything is in this, but they just kind of inserted their self.
See, I don't like that. I like people to bring something tangible. Now, some people will argue and say, well, that's tangible. But like I tell people, if he was a child and they were children, some won't consider that.
Yeah.
Wrong. But I'm talking about bring me a receipt that he was a grown man touching a child.
Yeah. And I don't believe anything that comes out of Jody Sue's mouth.
Really? Tell me why.
Because I think it's just a matter of she inserted herself into it because she lived so close to him, like she was neighbors with him. And I believe that she has made up a lot of things because Lawson has said there was not, it was unfounded, a scream. That was unfounded. They never could prove that. So
what, baby?
That there was a scream, that Jody Sue heard a scream.
Yes. Well, the sheriff is saying that now.
Yeah.
He basically, I'm just going to tell it. I don't care if people don't like it or not. I'm going by what the sheriff said. It's not made up. They're not really thinking on anything that's been said from 110. Been here wrong from the parents.
But it's like the thing is, like she said, she seen Jody Sue said she was over there and seen the Summer get out of the shower with Don, and then why wouldn't she report it right then and there, like that same day she seen it? That's why I don't know whether to believe that or not, because if I ever saw anything like that, I would report that immediately. Like immediately, that same day.
Because in a right person's mind, while listening to all of that, one could say, I'm listening to you talk about that. And then the next minute you talk about a scream. So which team are you on? Are you on the predators team that came and got the kid? Or are you insinuating that the man messed with his child, but still somebody kidnapped the kid? Which is which? Do you see where I'm going?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many rumors, like she was sold and all that other stuff. But I noticed on some of these YouTubers that are, talking about the case, they, every time you sit and talk about it, somebody always throws something in to try to take I'm trying to get the word out that I'm trying to think of. They're trying to take the distraction away from finding Summer.
Well, let me tell you something. I tell people this all the time, and it's just from things I've learned dealing with this situation with Summer, other missing people. People are not who you think they are.
No, they're not.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've learned personally. I've learned personally. You do not know who you are speaking to. Pertaining to a missing and dead person. People act crazy when people are found dead. People die naturally. The worst side comes out. Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't know people. And I have seen just from recently, the few people who are missing right now in this area, and I've talked to their family members, I can say, I don't know who the hell I was speaking to.
Oh, wow.
I don't know who the hell I was speaking to, talking to.
Yeah.
There's a lot. If you're out here saying, my brother's missing, my sister's missing, my child is missing, and somebody's saying, well, hey, I'm willing to help get the word out about your child, your kid, your mother, your father, and then you act like you're not even in tune to somebody wanting to get the word out, because like they said, as an African-American, you waiting on the news. Think again.
Yeah, and they haven't done one search. That's what I don't understand about the whole thing. They haven't been out like boots on the ground. They just been sitting there making asses of themselves on YouTube.
But if you have an audience, you see, kind of like I got 263 in here watching.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So somebody that wants to engage in that foolishness will go run wherever they see their name up on the title of the video. Well, let me see what Don said. Let me see what Candy's saying. Let me see what the neighbor said. See where I'm going? Let me see what Pookie said. You don't even know if it's the truth, but you in there.
Yeah.
Trying to see what the hell they said.
Yeah. Some of them I don't watch because I mean some of it just don't make sense where they're going with it. It's just
Well,
too.
I can say that, but see, if I was to say something, then all hell will break loose because I'm up here in this little box. But I'm entitled to my opinion. But I saw
Yeah.
something tonight in the queue, and I was looking like, okay, are we still back on this now? When you
Yeah.
just don't leave well enough alone.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Uh-huh. Are you really for the little girl?
Yeah.
Just keep it real.
Yeah. Just keep it real and have receipts. Facts. That's
But you
what we
can't
need.
bring a receipt, but you can't bring a receipt for one reason. You're already dealing with the devil, see?
Yeah.
And you don't know who else is working for the devil. So therefore, who you gonna trust to bring the truth about a 5-year-old?
Yep. That's right.
See, to me, this is Cal City all over.
Mm-hmm. I heard about the two twin boys.
You ain't got but this many people want to tell you something about Summer. I liked her. I was cool with the mama, this and that. But Cal City, you ain't have nothing. Nobody tell you nothing about what toys they like, what the favorite color was, what TV shows they like. You didn't have nothing. All we got is a little sprinkle over here about some dolls and some this and that. But anybody could see, man, that child was thirsty for attention.
Oh,
She was
yeah.
thirsty. Because I don't care what nobody says. The way she was all over Robin, man, it's creepy.
Oh, yeah. And like she would touch her hair and stuff like that.
But if you really look at the video,
Uh-huh.
the way she was doing her head, something was wrong with Summer Wells. And I'm going to go on and say it in my live. I can say it now.
Yeah.
Something was wrong with the child.
Oh, I believe that too. I honestly,
She had some real issues.
I would say that would be due to the drug use and alcohol use.
There's something was wrong with her because she was looking at Robin. Let's just keep it real. She was looking at her when she was holding her that day up in the pulpit as if that woman had came from Jupiter or Mars or something.
I seen that. Yeah, I know what you mean.
No different than if a white baby was being held by a black person and they ain't never seen a black person before. Well, hell, they would be looking at them like,
Yeah.
Vice versa. You ain't never seen a black person and you just looking. And you looking. I said, would be normal if it's you've never seen them. That's how she looked at Robin. And it struck me in the last video I watched. I said, wait a minute. What's going on here? I said, there's something wrong with this baby.
And what is it that they're taking all these videos down of Summer now? That's what I don't get. They're deleting videos. The churches?
Because they're tired of people talking about it. They're tired of everybody passing those videos along. Because really it is disrespectful to their church.
Oh,
You don't have to agree, but that is their church, and church is sacred. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Church is sacred. So when you're passing that video from here to there, passing it in the phone, passing it on somebody's channel, it's not even sacred anymore because it's all about Summer. It's not about you wanting to hear the word or hear the singing from their church. You're dissecting everything you're seeing in their video, and I'm sure that's disrespectful to them. And they have that right to feel that way.
Yeah,
I tell people that. I'm not going to knock that church because I don't know those people, and I'm not grouping everybody in that church because of these people or what I've heard about that type of religion. I don't rock like that.
Yeah.
You bring me something tangible.
Yeah. Like, I don't think the church has anything to do with it. I just think that people are just blowing that way out of proportion. And
but I take it down too because this is look, this is any church. I don't care what church you go to. When they post stuff to Facebook, the community channels, it's for people to learn about their church.
Yeah.
It's not for you to try to solve a true crime.
Yeah, that's true.
You understand what I'm saying? It's for the community, people who didn't go to church, people who are immobile, sickly, hospital, nursing home. They can watch and enjoy the services, not try to figure out Summer Wells, Don, and Candy's BS in relation to the missing kid. So that's what their church videos became, a circus.
Circus. That's the right word for that.
So it is disrespectful.
It is. It is. But I just don't know what to think about that Robin though. That
Well, tell me what you feel either way about Robin.
Just the vibes I get from her. The interview with Chris McDonough, she just seemed like she was really nervous and on edge, and then she's just
the grinning, which to some may be deemed inappropriate, even if you're nervous. Because usually when we're younger, we laugh out of nervousness. But she's older, you would think possibly she would know to keep in control
of that.
Of the laughter. Yes, I got you.
Yep. And that just kind of threw me off right there. And I was like, wow, because I've watched all of it, that Chris McDonough's videos with H, and and now they're, I don't like to put stuff out there that isn't true or anything like that. But like, I saw a video earlier about H, they got him hidden or something like that. That because he's scared for his safety. They're scared.
When he came out talking, let me tell you something. Chris McDonough, you can think what you want. I'm gonna be truthful. Chris McDonough knew better, though. That was a child.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
See,
yeah.
Even though he brought some things that you could either agree and not agree with what happened on June 15th, Chris McDonough knew better. That was a child, and it's still an open investigation. So you really have to use common sense. Was that really a good idea? You speaking to a child about a case of another missing child,
and it's
because
public for everybody to see.
Yeah, and he told stuff that really he had no business mentioning, pertaining to the dope dealer. You think that person don't know how to find you? You're probably living in public housing or some form of public housing. You're sitting on a porch wide open doing an interview with a retired detective. You can be found.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. But yeah, I thought that was a little messed up. But I don't know. There's just people coming up with crazy stuff. I'm just trying to stay away from the negativity and just listen to people that,
Well, everybody's intention isn't good.
Yeah.
I don't care what people say in their lives. Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. You can say anything in the live, in the chat, does not mean it's the truth.
Yeah. That's right.
And even after the recent events of what went on in Rogersville with these certain people, my thing is, you going back for part 2 for what reason? Why?
Yeah. It doesn't make
gain
sense.
What exactly that you couldn't have gained when you were there?
Yeah.
My thing is, where is the child? Can you tell me where she is? That's for anybody. Candy, Don, Grandis, Jody Sue, whoever. Where is the baby?
Yeah. Is it true? Is it true that they found some remains?
Knox County, yes. Yes.
Huh?
Yes. Let me play you a quick video. Hold on one second. See what
I heard about it, but nobody's come out and said anything. Yeah,
they got to send it to the forensic team.
Yeah,
and
to
let them
analyze that.
Yeah, analyze. Yeah. Hold on one second.
But surely you would think that they would know the difference between an adult human remains.
Well, but you got to remember, we don't know nothing yet. You got to go. How much was left of the person?
Yeah,
we don't know that. We don't even know how much of a human was there to be found. See, because they've got to do all what they do, whatever they do. You know what I'm saying? Okay, hold on one second. Here we go. This was uploaded 1 day ago. 1 second. I'll let you hear this. And this is WBIR Channel 10 News if you need verification.
Sheriff's Office is investigating after they say possible human remains were found in East Knox County on Saturday. Deputies received a call around 5 in the evening directing them to Andrew Johnson Highway. KCSO's major crimes detectives, forensic personnel, and the medical examiner's office processed the scene and confirmed the remains to be human. Right now, the Sheriff's Office is not sure of the age or gender of that person or when they passed away. The remains were taken to the Regional Forensic Center to be further examined. We'll keep you updated both on air and online.
Well, that should let you know it's remains, so it's not like a body. Because if it's a body is whole.
Yeah.
So if I can look at it and determine that it was a woman or a man discarded, then I'll say a man was found, a woman was found. Common sense will tell you it's probably just bones were found. So now they got to do all the DNA and the
DNA out of the bones,
all that. Right.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly what was left behind. You know, it's very, whoever it is, it's tragic.
Yeah. In my opinion, I feel like she's not no longer with us. I feel like she's been moved a couple times though.
Well, I've had a few people say that, and I'm going to ask you, since I mentioned about the search transpiring a month or so ago, and the fact that they went back there, and now this information coming up that we don't know if it has anything to do with Summer Wells. Let's say that we do not know. Why do you think she has been moved?
Because they're nervous and scared, because there's so many people on this that's looking into it, that's bringing attention to it.
But you know it's dangerous to move a body.
I don't know with them people. I wouldn't put anything.
But I'm just saying logically.
Yeah, logically.
Once you kill a person, you put them wherever. Why would you risk going back and it's an open investigation?
Yeah, that's true too.
It's very dangerous to move a body because you should know that somebody's watching you.
Well, they obviously think something is on that property for them to be searching around Beach Creek, you know, and
not on the property, near.
Nearby the property, like on Beach Creek and stuff.
I don't believe she's at the property. Only a food would bury her there. That's the first place they're going to look, and they're going to have dogs there. The dogs would have picked up her scent on the property. That's why I don't know why people keep saying that. If the dog hit at the dog trail, wouldn't he have stayed still on the property?
Yeah.
He's going to stand still where he gets a smell of her.
Yeah, that's right.
He's not going to wander off. He's not going to wander down the dog trail. He's going to stay on the property where if she was buried, that's where he's going to lay his paws down.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, she's back in there possibly. Or she was once back in there.
Yeah.
And now removed. Who's to say?
Yeah. Who knows? And the thing is, you know, this case has just baffled me. I've been listening all about it. It's consumed me because I just sit and listen and read on stuff, and I just don't understand. They just don't seem like the grieving type of parents.
Knox County, it's an hour, you all. The Andrew Johnson Highway is obviously a long highway. It's going from one county into other jurisdictions.
I mean, if we knew for a fact the timeline.
Knox County is not near Rogersville. Let me make that understood in the chat. Knox County is not near Rogersville. But Andrew, the highway obviously goes from one county into another.
Yeah. But I feel like she's, I don't think she's far from there. They buried her. I don't think she's far from there because, like I said, the timeline is so messed up. Nobody really knows the timeline.
But see, that's the whole thing. Let me tell you what I did. When I Googled the highway, because they don't give you an address to the highway, so you can't really say what the exact minutes are from 110 to Andrew Johnson Highway. All I know is it's in Knox County, and Knox County is not near Rogersville.
Yeah.
It's an hour away. So you got to think the mind of the person. Only people who dump bodies are people who can be linked to the victim. That's crime 101.
Mm-hmm.
Crime number 1. Strangers do not dump bodies. Rarely.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just kill you where you stand. Unless they picked you up from point A and then took you to point B, then they dump you. You see where I'm going?
Yeah.
But when it's direct family, boyfriend, husband, then they dump you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't kill you at the domain because then you will look for me.
Yeah.
Suspect number 1. So that's why Summer was not found at the house.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't kill her there. because you're the caretaker. So the suspects would have been only but a few.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But if I kill her and dump her over there, wherever over there is, I can build the narrative of what I want, which would be she was abducted.
Yeah.
So let's say she's found 20 minutes down the road, 15 minutes down the road, wherever. Oh, see, I told you she was abducted and they dumped her. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they're deranged people, that's for sure.
First, you got to prove how the abductor got her.
Yeah, I mean, that is so secluded. That area is so secluded.
But from your house, and then took her wherever and dumped her.
Yeah, it don't make sense. It don't make sense. I think the truth lies.
Plan it carefully, but she didn't plan it. Because
she didn't.
As I read the information, it says a lot of the murders are not planned. It's just spur of the moment, get rid of the kid. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. I understand completely. But it's just crazy. Like
that's what she was doing in the Chris Madonna interviews. She was ad-libbing and adding to bring special effects to the conversation with Mr. Madonna. All that extra stuff about sleep, they wouldn't sleep, locked in, locked out. Well, which is it?
Yeah, and then she was doing.
They were locked in, but your daughter was able to get kidnapped from the bottom basement door that was unlocked.
Yeah.
But your boys were upstairs locked in. So why would you have them locked in upstairs, but downstairs it's open?
Unlocked. Yeah. There's something not right about that.
Circular drive. Come on, I'm getting ready to get real ignorant with you now. Circular drive means the perpetrator didn't drive all the way around the house after stealing your child. He or she backed up and turned around in reverse or drove in reverse down the drive with your child.
I don't see that either. I mean,
the terrain in full bloom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go up that hill from the road, either direction, either side of the compound to get your child.
Yeah.
But you've got people there at the house.
No predator's going to take that chance.
In 2 minutes, he couldn't have gone up the drive from the drive or the dog trail if you were outside fooling with Grandis's knee. So you never told us if you were outside fooling with her knee or inside of the camper.
Yeah, I never heard about that. I wondered that.
Exactly. Yeah. Candus, were you inside the camper fooling with her knee or outside? Because in 2 minutes outside, you would have seen the perpetrator coming up either the dog trail or the driveway. No way you would have missed him coming.
And you can hear on gravel too. So
exactly. Foot, car, buggy, bicycle,
tires, anything. Yep. I mean, it's just insane. Like, I just don't feel like she's far from there, though. Just because of the timeline when she said everything happened, and supposedly she went on a walk, but on the first interview her and Dawn did, like on the 26th or 27th of June, she was like, I won't walk in the woods because of the bears and the snakes and this.
Because
and that.
obviously she realized, oops, I told that version to the dispatch. I got to clean that up. Haven't you noticed that's all she's been doing? She's a cleanup lady. She's been cleaning up her versions in response to people talking. So when I hear you talking and I know, ooh, that don't sound right, now I got to come out with another version narrative.
Yeah. Yep.
Clean up what I've
she's
said.
Had too many different stories. It's just, it's hard to break it down to what exactly happened, and the TBI and the police are being awfully quiet. So I feel like they're building a case, and they wanna make sure that they get everything in order, in line before they bring them in, because you can only prosecute once. If you don't get it all the evidence and everything in order, then they'll get away with it. Just like look at Casey Anthony. She got away with killing her daughter.
The most baffling case in American history.
Oh yeah, I watched that and I was just so. I mean, her little girl looked like my little girl when she was that age, but my daughter's 18 now, and you know I could never I could never imagine hurting my child, killing my child, and then having to live with that the rest of my life.
See, let me tell you what
I would have
watched a
nightmares.
documentary the other week. They said the reason why the 12 members voted to find her not guilty is because they couldn't decide on a motive. What reason would she have had to kill her child? Well, I think the fact that she went a whole month and not told anybody that the little girl was missing was motive enough, common sense. She wanted her freedom.
Oh yeah, she wanted to go party. And
she liked that boy who didn't want a woman with a child, like Susan Smith. Same Susan Smith scenario and MO.
Where she drove her boys down, in the car and let them drown.
The guy she liked didn't want a girl with children. That's his prerogative.
And then she goes and gets pregnant in prison.
Well, she likes sex. That's been proven with Susan Smith. She liked the male part.
Yeah. Yeah.
She stayed into a lot of shenanigans while she's been incarcerated. But why not? She's not going anywhere. So what I always tell you all, don't ask why, ask why not.
Yeah.
So she knows I'm not going anywhere. I'm locked up for life. I can do the hell I want to do while I'm in here. If I want to sleep with a man, sleep with a guard, sleep with another inmate, that's my business. Because I'm not getting out of here.
Yeah, that's right. It's horrible. I don't know how these people go out and commit crimes like that.
Well, let me ask you this.
And can sleep at night, because I would be horrified.
What do you think happened to Summer Wells on June 15th? Do you believe her mother maliciously killed her, discarded her, sold her, or it was an accident, or there was an abductor?
I have already took the abduction thing out because I don't believe that abduction crap at all. I think that's just a narrative they used. I honestly think that Candus, with her temper, snapped and maybe hit Summer in the head, knocked her down, and she hit her head, and it ended up killing her. And she knew from then that she couldn't take the baby to the emergency room because they would know.
So let's go here. So she did this where, at the house?
Yes, I believe so. I believe Grandis was right there and seen it all.
Okay, so but you forgot about 3 other little itty bitty spiders. So that means they witnessed it if they were at the house when she got home.
Yeah, that
means the boys heard it then.
Yeah. And you never know. That's probably why they put a gag order on those boys so them not to speak to the boys, because Don tried to get the oldest one to the side to talk to him about Summer, and that's when they put the gag order on. And I was thinking he was, that maybe probably trying to threaten them, don't say anything, stick to this story. And because
that never works with children, because I keep telling people one will fold.
They will fold eventually, but I think they're scared.
Too much time's gone by. I know damn well them kids didn't talk.
Yeah,
because they're not around their parents.
Yeah, that's true, but they don't know if they're gonna have to end up going back either. They don't understand that.
I think they've already told those kids if they're going back or not, and I got a feeling they're not going back.
Oh, hopefully they don't.
6 months doesn't take 6 months to get your kids back. If it's something minor, let's just say the kids are taken for something minor, such as hygienic reasons. How easy would it be to go get your house cleaned out, and then the state comes and look at the house and bring your kids right back in there? How hard would that be?
Yeah,
it will take 6 months to clean your house.
What's that?
It doesn't take 6 months to clean your house. But see, this is why I know they don't want their children. It's that came up about the house, them filming, the room wasn't clean for the little girl's room to bring the news in or some mess. Well, you should have the room clean anyway. You're letting all these people come, Chris Madonna, show your house, this and that. You don't think to have your house clean. See, this is what I'm saying. They don't care.
Yeah, I know. They don't. They don't. They don't have no remorse, no feelings. They're just like completely detached. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it because I mean, who could ever do anything to hurt their kids in their right mind, you know?
Yeah, but people do,
Nobody.
and they're in their right minds.
I'm that's sad though. I couldn't even I only got
I
one
believe
child.
that most people that kill kids are in their right mind.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got some kind of disorder, okay?
Uh-huh.
Maybe not be split personalities and or schizophrenia. But a lot of people got depression, bipolar. That still ain't no reason to kill no damn kid or go out here and kill nobody in the street.
No, if you're bipolar and stuff like that and you have
That's what I'm saying.
children,
So,
you need to go admit yourself into a mental hospital and get help. That's what you need to
yeah.
do.
Well,
that's what Candus should have done
I
a long
believe
time ago.
Candus has been a problem to herself for many years. She does not like herself. Okay? She's been using this man and men as a means to an end, as a way for survival and breeding like an animal. Because animals breed.
Mm-hmm.
It's obvious from her behavior. Okay?
Well, I hope she can't have any more kids. Like,
well, the only way that would happen is if the state decides, the judicial system decides to make law to clip and snip you.
Yeah, exactly.
For abusing
or
your
if she does, or if they don't do that, if she does get pregnant again, then I hope they automatically take these children, because I feel sorry for her one son that had that brain damage done to him.
I keep hearing people talking about this brain damage thing. Okay, so let's go there. Then why are these people, why are we talking about them with a missing child then? How could you beat your kid and be walking around to even get this one missing? You see where I'm going?
Yeah, I see where you're going.
And I just brought information from these articles that whether she favored the girl child versus the boy child, the mother will still harm the boy child.
Yeah.
Because she's sick.
She is sick. She's very sick. And
yeah, somebody said she didn't beat him. It was the father. Yeah, I thought that was it too. I thought y'all talking about one of these children. You're talking about the older cases.
Yeah, the older cases.
So that's the reason why she said she got rid of the children, because she realized it was not a safe environment for her kids. So that's why she went ahead and placed her children in foster care.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just heard something about he was beat with a bat or something like that. And he had brain damage, and he's in some type of facility place.
If I believe correctly, because like I said, I don't know. I don't have documents to prove who did and said what, but allegedly she said the man was hurting her kids. So she went ahead and, I guess turned over her rights to the children.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my thing is this. How about you leave him? You would have to give your kids up.
That's right.
See, that's something nobody ever mentioned.
That's what I don't understand. A woman
she could have left him. You don't have to give your kids up. You'd only give your kids up if you were forced to give them up and they said, hey, we found this, this, and this. We're taking your children. That's a difference between me giving them up and somebody took my kids. And when it comes to this one, you really don't know what to believe unless you've got a document verifying her children were either given up or taken by the state.
Yeah. That's one thing I haven't figured out if they were taken or not. I just know that they suffered some abuse, and I feel like no matter if you move state to state, like they said she was a carny. If you move state to state, if you have kids and mistreat them, and the one's ruined for the rest of his life and has brain injury, I mean, why would the CPS not step in and take her 3 boys that she had?
Well, that's the thing. If they don't know about her cases somewhere else, they're not going to know to take these children away. That's obvious. She's in a whole nother state.
Oh, that's true. That's true too.
That's why people commit crimes and get away with crimes.
Mm-hmm.
The new place don't know about what you did over here in Idaho, Utah, California.
And all of their rules are different, it seems.
Yeah, all the rules are different.
how they handle every case and
Now, what
everything.
they should do is do like what they got with the CODIS. DNA's in one database. Everybody has access to it. If you've been accused of any type of felonious crime with a child, it should be in a database as soon as you run your name to get any type of aid from the state medical. That should come up.
I
that you've been
agree with
accused
you
of abuse or
100% on that.
lost your children to abuse or all that should come up.
Yep, I agree.
Yes, all state CPS needs to be connected. Yeah, that way you won't have any problems worrying about fraud and or abuse or somebody having another baby when they just got their kids taken over here 3-6 months ago in another state. Now you're over here pregnant in this state. You see where I'm going? Because I think that's the pattern with these people. We go mess up over here, then we separate, go get us a new partner, start the cycle all over again. And that's exactly what's happened with Candy and Donna Wells. They're just repeating the cycles they had with other people in their lives. Don't you find that very ironic? 6 degrees of separation. These people don't know each other from Adam. They get hooked up. They're reliving the lives they had with other partners.
Yeah, it don't make sense. It's like it all boils down to abuse. Mental, sorry, I can't even talk tonight. Mental and physical abuse. That's what it all boils down to. It's a pattern. That's, you know, and she loves older men. That's the thing, you know, he's what, 59? Don's like 59 or something like that. And she's, well, yeah, well, and she's like 39.
Thank you.
I'm 39. And, you know, I don't know, just.
You said, how old do you say you are?
I'm 39.
Oh, you're 39? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a daughter that's 18. She got her own place. She graduated high school a year early. She's got her own car and, like I said, a really good job, and she lives with her boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
She's
been doing well.
Yeah, and I live by myself in a 3-bedroom.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I'm kind of lonely. I'm always by myself.
Okay, I understand. Well, get your goldfish. They can't mess up nothing. They ain't gonna talk back. They ain't gonna bark. They don't need a litter box. They don't need to go outside in the winter to do their thing. Just tap on the glass. How you doing? Give them a little fish food and keep it moving.
Yeah. Funny.
But you think it was an accident. A lot of people think it's an accident, but this is my theory. Why would it be an accident with Summer after all the children they have had amongst themselves with other partners? Why would this one be an accident?
And that's where I go back to, because she's a female. She was a girl, and the boys. But I've also heard the boys were abused too. But I don't know.
That girl with the hot pavement. Yeah, that was crucial. I watched that again the other day when I was watching AB's channel, and he was playing that video from Chris Madonna, and I just thought to myself, I don't know if I want to think that this lady's lying about her making those boys lie on the hot pavement. That's crazy as hell.
It is. Like I couldn't. That's torture for, you know, a child to have to do that. I mean, I can't even walk barefooted across hot pavement, let alone lay it on it for a while. You know, it's just not right. People are demented.
Very sad.
It is very sad. And, you know, I wish that we could find her alive. That would be the greatest thing ever.
Okay, and if we find her alive, where's she going?
Probably same place where the boys are at, because she's not going back to that house. Okay. She's definitely not going to go back to that house if they find her alive. I mean, Don and Candus are done for. That, you know, like he was on the cam that one night. Why would he? I think they got something on each other, like something bad on each other.
Right.
And I think that, you know, because usually when people get drunk, they'll come out and tell the truth. Even though they're drunk, they'll come out and tell the truth. He's like, Well, I got 7 alibis. Candace has got none. She's going down. Here she is in the background, bawling her eyes out. Her conscience are bothering her, you know? And you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It just, he knows something happened. He might have not been involved in hurting Summer, but I think he's covering something up for her, for Candace. I really think so. And like they're saying now, like I've heard that I know it's just people just speculating, but people saying they're about to go on the run. So that if they go on the run, that makes them even more guilty.
Okay, where are y'all getting that they're going on the run? Because she changing her Facebook post, her status on Facebook of her location.
Yeah.
See how you can y'all just take stuff for what reason? I don't understand.
I know. I'm just so.
This woman does not have a job. She does not have a job. She doesn't work. She's not educated. She doesn't even know how to make it in America. So she's going to go on the run where exactly?
Yeah, that's true.
It costs to live abroad.
Oh, yeah.
It costs to live even in a third world country. So if you can't make it here, come on with it, Queen. You can't make it here back in Hollyville. What the hell you getting ready to do in Mexico? Anywhere else? You ain't. That is for you all's amusement. Right. They messing with y'all. Thank you, just doing me.
Yeah. I mean,
that's to get you to talk. Because she knows you're over there looking, being nosy. Yeah, let me put this up here. Let them tell them I'm going to Mexico, Dubai, whatever. We know Candy ain't going nowhere.
It could be a prank. It could be a prank, like the prank she pulled on Don's sister Mary. Saying
but they can't go anywhere because they don't have anything. You can't just go to another country and live.
Yeah.
You're not Bill Gates, you're not Oprah Winfrey. You're not anybody with means and sustenance to go somewhere else and live. Because I'm going to say it again. You can't make it here. Tennessee is a cheap place to live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably one of the cheapest places you will find.
I live in Ohio.
Okay. So there's a reason why people move here.
Yeah.
It ain't because they really want to be here. People come here from up north, out west, New York City. It's because one, they like the mountains, or somebody said, hey, you can get by here better, blah, blah, blah.
Very good point.
It's not because a lot of people are not living in Tennessee because they really want to be here. You get over the mountains, you see that enough times, it doesn't really mean anything.
I never liked the country very much. I'm not a country girl.
That's what I'm saying. Not a lot of entertainment in this region. Not a lot of entertainment. So if you're a person that like to go out, hang out, go to clubs, the opera, the Met, see where I'm going? Comedy shows, this and that. We ain't got all that going on right here. You got to go to Nashville, Chattanooga, Memphis.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it again. They ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
So they going where exactly?
I wonder how they're buying their drugs and stuff, though, because I'm not a drug person, but I know that I've heard they're not cheap.
I'm sure they got Cash App.
Oh yeah, people are probably sending them money, feeling sorry for them. Oh yeah.
Somebody in the chat said the other day they sent dog food off of somebody else's channel. Some said, I think it was on AB's channel. One of the people said they just sent them dog food anonymously. I thought, Lord have mercy, really?
And you don't even know if they're feeding the dogs. But I heard that the Humane Society was taking them out of the home.
Well,
or taking them off the property there.
Let me tell you something. This is why I know can't nobody tell me about what's really going on in Hollyville. When you remove the children, you should have removed the animals. How are the animals different than the children? Okay?
Exactly.
So they go hand in hand.
Yep.
When the state decided that the children did not need to stay there, the same mindset should have been for the animals. Why the hell you gonna leave the animals there? But yet somebody want to go talk about on live who shouldn't say what about Ronnie Lawson and this and that. Well, guess what? If it's true, the Humane Society and the sheriff go hand in hand as far as extracting the animals off the property. The Humane Society wrote the letter, allegedly, if it's true, they can't just go take the animals off the property. Well, then that's where the sheriff department come in. So you still want to keep saying that the sheriff office ain't biased against these people? They're not favoring them? Yeah, to some degree, yes, they are. Come on now. We can't just keep saying
they're definitely favoring them. Like, how could one of us go out and get we've been drinking or whatever and need cigarettes, and we go out and drive our vehicle and get a DUI? Do you think we're taking that car home with us? No, it's going to the impound lot, and your license are gone.
That's supposed to be the law in Tennessee anyway, that you get your car impounded for a DUI. You're supposed to also get it impounded if you don't have car insurance, which I told you that a week ago. That was a law implemented a few years ago. So once again, I'm going to say it again. Something is fishy. And yes, I know Lawson is not the judge, but still, there's some instances, if they are true, with her giving children alcohol, somebody calling about their child being there, she wouldn't tell the people the address, all that. That's sheriff's business there.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Did she get arrested for those incidents? Because if she didn't get arrested for those incidents, then that is showing favoritism.
Oh, yeah. It definitely is. There's some favoritism going on. For sure.
When Don had the altercation with her last fall, the state was supposed to pick up the charge. In Knoxville, they pick up the charge. Doesn't matter if you go to the court and say you changed your mind. I don't want to press charges. Sorry.
Yeah, like that Lawson guy, the sheriff, he went in there and arrested Don when in the courthouse. For probation violation, and then he got left out just like that.
Okay, that's my point.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have been able to get out. He should have stayed in court till February, like other people who had to go to court and stay without a bond. So to me, it's all in a loop with the state's office, the sheriff, and the judge. I'll group them all together. How about that? For somebody that's got their panties all up in a damn knot.
Yep. I totally understand what you're saying. I mean, none of us would get away with doing that. Let's put it that way. We would have fines out the ass, and we would be in jail sitting for a couple months till we went to court. You know what I'm saying?
It's just like what I've heard detectives say, and it's true for this state I'm in, because we have a pill problem here, meth problem, heroin problem now in Tennessee. Most families who abuse drugs, they find abuse with the children and the animals. So, do I need to ring that bell again while I'm live? You took some children from a house for some reason, and you also had issues with animals not getting the proper care.
Yeah.
So what else is missing from the equation but the you-know-what? DRUGS.
Yep. I don't know. It's just it's messed up. Like, I don't understand. Like, the day that Don supposedly came home, he went straight to that shed, and once he got to that shed, he said, I seen the boys over by the creek. I knew that Summer had been abducted. Like, why? That don't make.
Maybe he was saying because I saw my boys without her.
Yeah, that could have been true. Yeah.
Because, somebody's calling you saying, hey, Summer's missing. Well, seeing was believing once he got there and saw just his boys and not Summer. So everybody's been making a big deal about the shed. Could be just that, okay, she's gone because I don't see her standing there with my boys. Or it could be an act. I don't know. I don't trust him either. Because like I said, when I go back to Chris Madonna, H, he had to be the one to call her, because the boy is not going to lie about who called her phone and making up all that stuff for who said what did he want. Come on now. Too elaborate
was
for a 15-year-old.
messing around up at the house.
It's too elaborate for a 15-year-old.
What needs to be found out is if he was at work all day, or if he like left
Exactly.
his vehicle at work and took
Exactly.
somebody else's
Exactly.
vehicle and
But
came
you
back.
already know that would have come out by now had he used somebody else's vehicle, because nobody would want to be wrapped up in the switching of any cars. That would have come out by now.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, it's a small town, small place. People talk, sweetie. In the South,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Just
somebody would have been told they saw him in a car, another car, and the person whose car it is would have probably not been feeling too good once it got out about another car. You understand?
Yeah. Yep. That's true. You're very smart. I like you. You're very intelligent.
Well,
sometimes I
just
have
chop
my
it up.
blonde moments.
I just chop it up. I just chop up what's being said.
Yeah, sometimes I have my blonde moments. So I get a little off track sometimes.
See, the problem is the child's still gone. The child's still missing. Everybody's trying to feel, I am just doing me. I am. Everybody's trying to figure out where the child is. Then you're trying to dissect everything that's been said to the news. Then you're trying to dissect what she told to the dispatch. Then you're trying to dissect what Allie said, what H said. Now here comes Jody Sue. What's wrong with Grandis? Why she ain't talking? You're trying to put all that stuff in a pot and put it together. But you can't explain it naturally, logically, somebody going up there. Once you see the pictures of the terrain, you know better. Now, ain't nobody went up here and stole no kid.
That wouldn't be an easy task. Not with all that terrain and everything.
But why, when I could go over here in the city and steal a kid?
Yeah.
With your access.
Now, if they lived in the city and this happened, then I'd probably believe the abduction part.
Thank you, Pony Pony. That's what I'm saying.
It's just too secluded up there for anyone to really even, know what the.
I don't know what's up there.
Yeah.
If I don't know what's up there, and then I go up there and see all that stuff up there, you think I would think I want to steal a kid? I'd have to know the kid's up there. I have to know I can get in and get out with the kid. It's not plausible.
Yeah, it isn't. I'd be afraid of having a gun in my face or something being up here in the holler.
Because you don't know what's up there if you ain't never been up there. So you basically saying the person that stole my child has been up here before. That's what you're saying then.
Yeah.
And they know we leave the bottom door unlocked. They know my daughter's room is down there. And they know I ain't gonna be nowhere around to hear you come up the drive on gravel to steal my child. You got to shut the car door, don't you? Or you let the car doors open?
Yeah, I mean the noise of the car doors, and if it was somebody Summer didn't know, she would have screamed. I mean, she would have, made some type of noise or fought or something.
And that's why I said they put a cover over her mouth, over her head when it went inside.
Yeah,
make it make sense.
Stay woke. I like where you said, "Stay woke."
Well, that's true.
I just wish we could get some answers. I mean, June 15th this happened, and then now we're going on close to January, and then it's going to be the seventh mark, month that she's gone.
And like I told Crystal today, one of my mods, it's shameful that we're 1 year into Cal City. The boy's missing out of California with nothing. And now 6 months with this baby girl. And I got a little tea on Cal City today from somebody from California.
Did you?
I'll bring that next. I'll bring that next. It's very sad.
It is sad. Like, I just pray that they, find her and, if she's alive, take her away as far as they can away from Don and Candus and never let them see her again.
Well, you know, somebody in the chat said that the boys are not all together.
I heard they were split up.
Let's talk about that. This is the serious business. Because if they don't have any relatives to come get those children out of there, there's the propensity for a worst case scenario with these children raised by random people, because they are random people.
Yeah.
And that's the sick part. We could have a repeat of everything we're talking about. Wayward children growing up to be wayward adults. Because hurt people hurt people. So you get hurt in the judicial system, the foster care system. Now you out here as an adult and you go out here and do the same because you had messed up parents raising you. You get out there, care. You're going from home to home. Because you got to remember, these children, they're not infants. And people do not want to adopt half-grown children.
No, they don't. They don't want the hassle of it.
Right. They want somebody they can conform into their own image.
Yeah.
That's why people adopt babies.
Yeah.
You know, 5 years old, you already got a personality.
That's right.
You already have a personality. 10 years old, oh, hell yeah. You understand where I'm going?
Yeah, and like, you know, when they did this last search for Summer, Don was on camera. Did you see how white he looked?
No.
Like in the face, like they were the newscast or whatever was asking him what they thought about, you know, the second search and everything, and he didn't know about it at first, and he just looked like he was freaked out. Like I just seen it on his face, like he's like, oh my God, you know, he looked worried, is what he did. You know,
now when was this?
This was when they did the second search, where they did it for the few days. This last search,
the last one, November,
yeah. He looked completely like scared. Like he just looked. There was like no color in his face. You got to watch the video if you haven't already.
Okay.
I mean, you could definitely see the vibe. I mean, I could see something off.
Somebody in the chat says he was acting very nervous.
Oh yeah, he's very nervous. Like, oh shit.
The second person is saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you believe she's back there in that area, or she's taken somewhere else?
You talking to me or the chat?
You.
Oh, I think that, like I said, I don't think she's very far from the house. And, I mean, I'm no psychic. I don't know, but I would say she's not far from the house. Like, I feel like she's no more than 30 miles away from that house.
Okay.
That's my guess. And I just wonder if Dawn wasn't going to her location that night he got pulled over. You know what I'm saying? The location where, if he put her there, you know, if he wasn't going to where she was to see her or whatever.
Why would you think he would be going drunk?
I don't know. Just people do strange shit. People like them do strange stuff. They do. They're off the wall. Like they don't care. They just get drunk.
I think they have moved her. I wonder if Candus goes to the site. Well, like I told you all, you know they're being watched by FBI and police, I'm sure. So what, don't you all think it'd be risky moving the body?
Yeah. Well, not necessarily moving the body. It's going to visit. He was going to visit Summer.
And do what exactly?
Just visit her because she was there.
Or do you mean going to check to see if she's still there?
Yeah. Check to see if she's still there.
Still there.
Because people do foolish stuff when they're drunk. I mean, they do. I'm not a drinker, but I've known a lot of people to do some crazy shit when they're drunk.
Yeah.
They just don't.
In the beginning, you have to think logically. In the beginning, it would be too risky to have gone anywhere near a dead body that you put there, knowing these people are going to look at you first as a suspect. So you should know they will be tracking your every move when you left the house.
Yeah, that's true.
You'd be a fool to go.
But they must have been
still there anyway.
Definitely, because it wasn't very long he was out on the road that night. that he was pulled over. So somebody reported it, or they were sitting somewhere close by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
You probably were.
Yeah. That would be my guess.
Because I didn't think about that night when he was out in the dark. Usually, you won't probably have sheriff just sitting around on those little barren roads. They might sit on a road that's got a little more traffic.
Yeah, exactly. And he said he was going to get cigarettes.
Somebody said tweakers do some crazy sh. Yeah, I'm sure they do.
They do. Like I smoked weed maybe once in my life when I was 19, and I do not care for drugs. I just do not care for them. The only thing I do is smoke cigarettes. That's the only thing I'm guilty of. Last time I drank was maybe 4 years ago. So I'm not even a drinker. I'll have a margarita here and there.
I don't know where he went. If he said he went and got cigarettes, what can you say?
Yeah. I know, but I think that's just I think he was going to get cigarettes, but I think he was also going to go to the spot where Summer was.
Now imagine, I want you to think about what you're saying. Imagine had he been followed to the location of the dead child and they were behind him. Then what?
Then my guess would be like the police are going to put two and two together. He's in this
I'm just saying, imagine going to the location of where you've dumped the body, and the police follow you to that place. That I don't think that worked in his favor.
No, I don't think so either. That makes complete sense.
Someone says, I think they aren't keeping him in jail so they can keep watching him. Maybe.
Do you think they have the house rigged? Where, how the police go in and can tap your house or whatever?
Like what they did with the Petitos. Not Petitos, but the laundries.
The laundries, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't done that.
There probably are some cameras up there.
Yeah.
That they don't know about.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. They just do foolish stuff. Like, I haven't seen him act fool on camera lately.
Somebody said they shouldn't have stopped and they should have kept following him. That's a good point.
Yeah, they should have just kept following him to just see where he went, and because he's so drunk, he don't know what the hell's behind him. he's probably just he was driving along. I guess he was on YouTube with somebody when he got pulled over.
Just doing me says yes, they dropped a couple of bugs. I would hope so.
You know what I'm saying? He was talking to somebody on YouTube when he got pulled over. It was Doug. That Doug guy is who he was supposedly on the phone with when he got pulled over. So you almost wonder, did one of those turn him in and say, hey, he said he's going to get cigarettes. He's been drinking. He's behind the wheel. And then they followed up and got behind him and flipped the lights on. Or like I said, they could be sitting somewhere just waiting for, to see if anything suspicious goes on up in that area, to see if any, cars go to their house, who's going there. They got to be looking at all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with Daisy. If Don and Candus were forced apart, I think Candus would panic and lose her shot. Yes, I've always said that. For the past month or so, I've been saying that the two need to be separated. They may be watching her to see what they're going to do next, but enough. 6 months in, how long are you going to, ride this train out?
Yeah, they need to be arrested.
Trying to put him in jail, she would have panicked.
They need to be interrogated more than what they have been. Like I said,
they could have been, but they could have been. And I keep telling everybody, it's easy to judge and say what they weren't doing or not doing. Common sense will tell you. He and Candus are never going to tell you what FBI, TBI are asking. They've already told you that they're cooperating. So I'm not going to come on live and tell you what they asked me to make it look like I'm still a suspect. I'm not going to tell you that.
Yeah.
See, they're picking and choosing what to tell YouTube. They're not telling you, hey, last time I talked to them, I don't think they believe me. I don't think they believe my wife. They're not going
to come out and say that because they got enough people on their ass.
That's right. Yeah. So I'm going to keep calling you in when I need you to come in, asking questions, this and that. But I think
something don't line up.
Candy and Don know damn well law enforcement don't believe them. one agency possibly don't believe them.
Oh yeah, somebody. I mean, somebody's got to know that they're trying to pull somebody's chain. You know
And
what I'm saying?
I think if you had separated them, the truth would have come out to where to find the child, because I always go back to the Camille McKinney case. That is how they found her in the landfill. It's when the girl stayed behind in jail with no bond. She knew where the baby was, and he was able to bond out, the boyfriend. And days later, she told it a week later where to find the baby, because she realized she wasn't coming out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get a bond. She was already there on kidnapping her children. She was on a violation of probation for kidnapping her children a year before from foster care from her aunt's house. So she knew, I ain't getting out of here. So she told it. So that's why I said,
yeah,
whatever tactics they're using, separate them.
Did you ever notice too? I believe that if what you're saying, if they separate them, one's going to crack, and I think it's going to be Candus, because she's the weakest link.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice whenever they were on YouTube talking and everything, that Don was trying to get Candus to shut up all the time. He didn't want her talking.
He don't want her talking because he already knows that she's messed up by talking.
Yeah,
that's why the narrative keeps changing, because of what she initially told the dispatch, then what she told the news, whatever she told Robin. See, they're all different. Whatever she told FBI, TBI, Hawkins County, they're all different. Bet you if you would line up every interview between TBI, Hawkins County, the news, Robin, what she told Don, the dispatch, they're all different.
Yep.
Something has been added in every conversation.
Yep. Just like that interview that they had and everything, Don basically sit there and said, I hate to say it, but I think she's dead. And Candus looked at him like, what the hell you talk, like, what the hell why the hell are you saying that for? Just the look she gave him was a look of, oh shit. Like, she looked like she was worried that he was going to tell on her. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Somebody said, I knew Candus did something from the first interview at the holler.
Mm-hmm.
I think she is smarter criminally minded than Don. Wow. Interesting.
Who said that?
Crystal Sims said that. You agree with that?
I don't think she. I don't think she's very intelligent.
Well, report them and then just block them, because they keep coming in here and putting those.
She's definitely not criminally minded. I don't believe.
Huh?
I don't believe that she's criminally. What do you call it? Yeah, criminally minded.
She may not be as slick. She may not be as slick as Don, but she's done some things. I tell you something I found interesting is when I rewatched the content pertaining to. Well, I don't think I really watched that interview with the friend that was talking with Allie, and when she said the thing she was saying, and then Allie had made a comment about her stealing her money. That was interesting because I'd never heard that before. That some money came missing, and she believed Candus stole her money.
No, I never heard of that.
And she never confronted her about that. So, see, I always tell people, you are deemed an addict even when you're not getting high.
Mm-hmm.
You're deemed an alcoholic still if you don't drink. So, tendencies die hard. You may not be on this drug because Chris McDonough wants to say, well, I don't think she's on meth. I've seen people on meth. It doesn't matter. She could have been on something else. People do seek out drugs depending on the pocketbook.
I think she was doing a variety, both turned on.
Mm-hmm.
A variety of drinking and different, drugs. I don't think they took the same stuff, every time.
Gloomy girl 30, you want to hit the link? You're saying you live in Wisconsin where CB grew up. Many of the women in the Harrah family are masculine. Hit the link. Drop the link for this person. I want to hear what they have to say. You don't mind hitting the link, Gloomy Girl 30. You don't have to show your face, but hit the link. Thanks, Rags. I'd like to hear your commentary. Right, Miss K, thank you for saying that. I do think a good example is when she said to CM that Hunter got the order wrong. Truth is truth. Exactly. He may have gotten which store we went to, but everything is basically the truth of what happened.
Oh, yeah.
In
Yeah,
your
that's
company.
true.
That's why I told people the stuff that Hunter was saying, I can refuse to believe that stuff was made up about where they went and the phone call and the dope dealer's name. Man, ain't nobody making all that stuff up like that.
And
That
if
boy
I think,
is really
I
sick
think,
and bored.
oh yeah, I think that if Hunter witnessed Candace hurting Summer, that he would have spoke of it. He would have spoke of it. Since he spoke of, where all they went and everything else.
Yeah.
And even though he didn't have it in the right order, like you said.
Well, he's a boy. Guys do not think meticulous.
Oh, they
like
don't.
him.
No.
He's a child, first of all. He's a child first. And he's a boy. Like he said, I don't keep up with time. He don't have to keep up with time. He don't got a job. Unlike her, she's grown. She don't got no damn job. You understand what I'm saying? So she should be keeping up more with time because she got children. But she has a mind of a child. So like I told people, I see why she gravitated towards boy H. Making, fetal alcohol. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, threw me off. But you understand what I'm saying? She has a childlike mind. That's why she could talk to him and message him and say derogatory things with him about touching himself and doing all those type of things. That's filthy people talk. You know better talk to a boy like that. You have no business talking to a boy like that. Nobody's child like that. Okay, Lisa says, I think it's obvious that Candace and H had relations and that factors into this. Okay, into what? He's denied that they ever done anything.
Maybe Candace is the one that had the obsession. She liked younger boys.
If he could tell that he asked her for a drink, do you think possibly he would go ahead and say, yeah, I knew she liked me, she touched me, she kissed me, she made a pass? Is he that type of child that he will hold a lie? Or is it that he figured if I tell that, then they'll throw her in jail? But he also said he thinks she did something to the child, so why would he cover for her if she did touch him or they had relations?
That's true too.
Because you're admitting that you think this woman killed her kid or did something to her kid. So that's just as heinous as saying she touched you.
H said he looked at Summer like, that like she was family, like she was his sister,
Yeah, she wanted attention. That's the whole purpose of this narcissistic mother syndrome. She is a narcissist. She didn't care for her daughter. That's why I had this title up. Why I believe she shaved a little girl's head. It's because she didn't like herself. She's mimicking her own mother. She wanted her daughter to look like she, which is a masculine guy. And when you watch the Chris Madonna interview, you can see the metamorphosis of her being a man.
Oh, yeah.
She wanted her child to look the same. The interview with Don and the boy talking to the news, that boy had hair on his head. So I don't believe this shit about no cooties and lice and all that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they didn't have them. I'm saying that ain't why she shaved the girl's head.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to shave her head, why weren't the other boy's hair buzzed down to the nub like hers?
Yeah.
Her buzz cut. That boy talking on the news with his father, Don Wells, he had more hair than Summer Wells. So it's BS to me.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Candy wants to be a guy. She is mimicking the role of a guy like her mother, Grandis. Now, I do not know if Grandis messes with women or not, but Grandis is a masculine man looking female. Candace is a masculine looking female. She cut her daughter's hair to mimic the image that she wants to be. That's why I believe she cut Summer Wells' hair. She did not like that she had a girl child. She could not identify with the girl child. The girl child is pretty, beautiful looking, which those are attributes Candace did not have, in my opinion, and she knew that. I don't look like her. She don't look like me. Although she's cut from me, but she does not look like me. She's a prettier baby.
She definitely neglected Summer, that's for sure. Because one thing You know, one thing that really upsets me that almost brings me to tears is that girl didn't get nothing to eat at all that day. All she had was a slushie.
Now, don't you start that crying now. Well, it's like I said in my live the other day. She wasn't a good hostess, okay? You're going to invite a child out to go run around with you. Then you're going to tell Chris McDonough, oh, just a fluke. But you didn't even offer him a hamburger or nothing. Hey, you want a hamburger? You want a hot dog? You didn't offer your child nothing. You didn't offer your mama nothing. So nobody's hungry. Everybody's been up early, but nobody's hungry.
I know I would be hungry if I was running all day like that. I'd stop and get me a sandwich.
My father once told me, before he passed away, that junkies like sweet drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Since people on heroin like to drink sweet pops, what he would call them. They're always thirsty and they crave sweets.
Yeah.
And I've heard other people say that about other type of addicts, meth heads or whatever, like sweet candies. I don't know. I don't get high and I don't partake, so I don't know. But who's to say she was craving something sweet because she's been doing something? I don't know. But my thing is, a slushie, why not get a hot dog? You can get a $1 burger anywhere.
Not that expensive.
$1 from McDonald's.
Yeah.
$4 for a sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
And
do they know if that video of her dressed in that tracksuit, do they know if that was definitely taken on the day that she was supposed to come up missing?
Say what, honey?
The picture where she was in that winter tracksuit?
Yeah.
Do you think that was from the same video as the one that where she was videoed at the swimming hole?
I just think it's a part of the video. The picture is just a caption of the video that was filmed accidentally or on purpose, however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
But like people have been saying, you put your good Sunday best on when you go in the casket. Stay woke.
Yeah. Stay woke. Yep.
That's not what she had on when she went to H's house, because H said she had on shorts. Now, he didn't say what color the shirt was. He didn't say what color the shorts were. He just said she had on shorts when she came to the house. So where were the shorts at? Why are we looking at pictures of a child in dark pants with a zip-up jacket all the way to the throat? Now, you can say all you want that she was cold, she was this. If the windows are down, she should have been warm because there's no air conditioning running. Stay woke.
Yeah, she didn't like it. Air conditioner, remember, Candus?
Well, if she didn't, then that doesn't that little girl dressed up like that is contradictory to somebody driving with the windows down with hot air blowing.
Yeah, I agree. Stories
now,
just don't add up.
The girl sleeping on the milk, that God Evil Exists or whomever that Evil Exists belongs to said their child slept on something cold. They put it under the child's head. The child didn't wake up. Every child is different. I don't know what's the truth to the photograph. I don't know if the child was alive, deceased, passing away. I don't know. All I'm going by is common sense information.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Doing too much with Facebook before 6/27. You lied to the dispatch about taking a walk. Then you changed that version to the news about not liking to take a walk because of animals, snakes, bears, coyotes. See where I'm going?
Mm-hmm.
Then you mentioned planting flowers. I don't have to worry about that photograph for Summer in that outfit.
And like
I'm using common sense.
Like she called Don on her phone and said, "Oh, Summer's missing this and that," and he said to her to call the cops. But then she hangs up her phone and grabs Grandis's phone to call 911.
So her excuse would be, "Oh, I wasn't calling him direct line. I was calling him on Messenger." So then that means you got to switch that up now. Now you got to say Wi-Fi was working, but regular call wasn't going through. See where I'm going? You got to keep switching per the response.
Yeah, for sure.
No, she didn't think Equisearch. They don't care. Well, Tammy, I don't guess you got no dead children in the back seat of your car. Propped up on milk jugs, perhaps.
I know my daughter definitely wouldn't have been sleeping on no milk jugs. Not you know, that would burn your face, I would think. Like burn a child's face, like too much cold.
Crystal makes a good point. 911 works on any ping. That is a lie. Well, common sense should tell her that too. That no matter whose phone, thank you. Great point. Somebody always comes in with a bingo card. You switch the phone. Come on. You switch the phone wherever you made the 911 call, either on the compound or off. That thing's still going to hit a tower to get you through to the dispatch. Amen. So we didn't think about that when we mentioned this last week in my commentary. You switching it, it doesn't matter. Switching the phone, it's still got to ping off a tower to get a signal to make the damn phone call. Well said. Thank you so much.
I'm trying to make sense of all this. It's just so much.
Very, very good comment. Because lately we've been discussing that about the phone situation. Was she on the compound, off the compound, around the corner? Where was she? If you switch the phones, Candus Bly-Wells, to try to deceive law enforcement, you still caught because they're going to know where you were when the phone went into the dispatch. Dodo bird. Bingo card.
Very good point.
See, this is what happens when people think they're smart.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not. When you haven't planned it out thoroughly.
Yeah.
Because you're always going to forget about something when you commit a murder. When you dispose of a body. 50 ways to commit a murder, 100 ways to get caught.
Oh, I loved your one live. I've been listening to your lives a lot, but I usually don't get up on cam because I have a couple other times, other places, but like I'm normally like shy and everything like that, and I don't know how to talk to people very well. You know, but at first until I get to know them and then I feel more comfortable around them. But what I was saying was you know, I was on. I'll have to think about what I was going to say because it just went.
All right.
It'll come back to me.
That's so true. I'm so glad that person made that comment about the phone. It doesn't even matter that she switched phones. Let's say she did switch phones because she didn't want law enforcement to detect her calls. It still has to ping off a tower, no matter what phone you use. So if you use her phone because you thought it was best, if you weren't on the property, you still are caught.
Yeah.
Because the number's going to come up and the location on the tower is going to come up when they run the records off the phones. Very stupid person.
It is very stupid. Like
she's a very stupid person. All of them are stupid because none of this makes any sense. And I'm not going to start.
What I don't understand.
Everybody's doing what they've been doing. Grant is taking off. That shows neglect of you as a mother and a grandmother. Allegedly coming back. For what reason? There's nothing here. You ain't got nothing going on the property, so why come back? Donald playing crazy like he don't know what's going on, but then he's saying slick stuff like he's got alibis, this and that. I've been vouching for you. So what are you saying? You know what she did? You know what she did to the child? What's the truth? Candy thinking she's gotten away with this when we've already caught her in too many lies from the beginning, from the dispatch call to the throwing the phone to all the stuff at the park with the kid. The water park is very significant. Why would I be taking my child dressed in those clothes to a water park when it's a water park where you swim? So that defeats the purpose of taking her to the hole in the wall park, the dirty lake. Why would you let your child swim in a dirty lake to then take her to a real water park? It's like he's telling people, you got to stay woke.
That's right.
Stay woke.
It don't make sense. I would never let my child swim in dirty water like that. I wouldn't even swim in dirty water like that. That's disgusting.
She told the public, I put her in that outfit to go to a water park in Jonesboro later that evening. Why would she be dressed in a pull-up and pants to go swim?
Yeah. It don't,
so you just took her swimming in a dirty pond, lake, whatever.
Yeah. Stay woke. That's a good point. I don't know. It's just so sad. I get emotional over it, man. I just,
And yes, Crystal says, and why not take the boys? Exactly.
yeah. I think that everything that day was premeditated because
was.
eyes
Thank you.
were
That's
all
what-
on
thank
Summer.
you. Thank you.
Eyes were all on Summer that
Summer.
day.
Yes.
They
June
needed an
15th
alibi.
June 15th was orchestrated, in my opinion. When you go and weigh up everything that happened, because everything happened for a reason, from this call to that call, to photographs, pictures, videos, posting stuff to Facebook before 6:27, 6:30, you calling him, he calling you, messenger, Robin, this and that. You line it all up. It was orchestrated.
Yeah.
Everything was done meticulously for the child to be seen by boy H. Not anybody else in Pookieville, Bubbaville, but the one alibi that I chose to be an eyewitness to my child being alive on June 15th.
And it could also be they want to put the blame on him too. And say, oh,
Whatever.
he did this, he did that to her. I was afraid to come forward about it. I mean, there's just he definitely was used that day.
But how are you going to prove that when you're the adult and you're the one who would have to put the child in the car from the swimming hole, and he got dropped off at the swimming hole at his house, and there's also somebody who knows he got dropped off at the house because he was on the cell phone talking to somebody. I know this.
I don't know.
Okay. Hey, TZB, you understand?
Yeah.
So you can't logically turn on H for doing anything to your child, because the first thing the police is going to say is, well, you wrote the lie all this time, and you're the one who had to dress your child and change her clothes. You didn't notice she was sickly, comatose, not breathing, foaming at the mouth, convulsion. See where I'm going?
Uh-huh.
You will not be able to talk your way out of that because you're the adult and you're the parent.
Mm-hmm. I think they put those jugs. They put them
already.
I think they put the jugs of milk there purposely. They set it all up like that. And to make it look like, oh well, we just come from swimming and she's tired. But then she was Candus said when they got home, she woke up just like that.
Tell me? She put a dead baby in the car from the swimming hole? Because he said she was talking. So then that means that he would have had to have lied about the child not being woke.
Yeah.
Unless he didn't want to admit that he actually thought something was wrong with the child, and he's got to go ahead and say, yeah, she was talking.
Yeah. Or it could be they did something as soon as they dropped H off. They did something from the time they dropped him off to the time they got to the house.
Just doing me, yes, to keep her cold. Exactly.
Yep.
If you want to believe that she was deceased in that photograph, that would be the only reason to purposely prop her up against cold milk if she was already dead.
Yep.
And that means Hunter knew something was wrong with the child then.
Yep.
Somebody said Hunter would say what he knew. Well, that's what I'm hoping too, that he wouldn't lie, that all along the little girl was sick or dead. Crystal Sims says, I think the drug dealer was in the car. They say, orchestrated by drug addicts won't make a lick of sense. This is true.
They're so all over the place.
Well, some people are like, they don't believe what Alice said, didn't say. Like I said, you're entitled to your opinion. But in the end, and I'm going to tap out of here, no matter if you believe what Alice said, what that lady said that was sitting there talking about the children on the blacktop after swimming, she laid them down. If you believe what Alice's mother said about Candy, if you believe what boy H said, Jody Sue, Robin, Mr. Dotson, whomever, the one thing that you cannot argue is what Candus has said.
Yeah.
Said. And what Don Wells has said. So if you scratch all those people, you still can't logically explain a random stranger going up to 110 Ben Hill Road on June 15th and kidnapping the child without risking being caught and breaking his own damn ankle or leg to get her out of there. Stay woke.
That's right.
Because, see, that's what you don't seem to understand. The lies spun by Candus Wells don't have anything to do with H, don't have anything to do with Allie, don't have anything to do with Robin, Mr. Dotson, the other guy, Dobbs. That's obsolete. The lies have already were put in motion when she called the dispatch. And I don't believe any of those people were around.
I'm waiting for those 911 calls to come out.
When the lies were spun, none of those people were around. I don't believe any of those people were around at that house.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter about what they said, didn't say, if you believe their versions of anything. She put in the motion, the ball into motion, June 15th with the phone calls and whatever else she's told the public thereafter of June 15th, what she told Chris Madonna, she's hung her own self by running her mouth. She's hung herself by letting Don Wells speak on her behalf.
No doubt.
Yes, all diversions. Amen. Candy is a boy, man, child, mimicking Candus. And at some point before June 15th, she decided to make Summer Wells her image. The girl, woman she had never become. Only by DNA and birthright was she a female. But when you look at Candy Bly Wells in the Chris Madonna interview, you will realize the transformation, the reconstruction from a woman to a man. And that is why she shaved the head of Summer Wells, was to mimic the man she is and wants to be, like her mother, Candus. Tit for tat. And she didn't want the child, tired of the child, had no use for the child, and either killed the child because she didn't want to continue to raise her, be bothered with her, favoritism about the father, relationship, and or stuff going on with the father. I do not know, but it's all sinister nonetheless, the reasoning. Because in the end, the reasoning won't ever matter. She didn't want the child. She got rid of her. I do not believe there was an accident on June 15th. I believe this was an orchestrated crime to get rid of the child. Because when you go back into the Book of Life and listen to her commentary during the Chris Madonna interview, she has spun it and told it in her own words without directly saying, I killed my child, Summer Wells, on June 15th for this reason and that reason. When she made it known that she was going to Jonesboro to a water park, she had already told me everything I need to know from that it was deliberate and it was orchestrated. And that picture video was taken deliberately as to be also the alibi alongside boy H. To show this is what I had planned out for me, myself, and my mother on June 15th. Everybody was an alibi for the discardment of Summer Wells.
I truly believe that too.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Jenny.
Yep. You're welcome, honey.
I'll talk to you later, okay?
God bless.
God bless you. Thank you. I want to thank you all for joining me. This has been a long live. Sorry about the extra information I had to bring and read to you, but it was a lot I wanted to get out. So that is the reason why I had to read all of that information about the narcissistic mother. If you need verification, you can go to the said information where I bring you a source all the other incidents of the violence that took place on Christmas is on my community page. Feel free to go over to watch those said videos to get the said information and the sources. As I said in my previous slide, I do believe the death, I'm going to go ahead and say it, of Summer Wells is orchestrated. I do not know if these remains that are found in Knox County are any way related to Summer Wells, but I do not believe Summer Wells is alive. And the reason why I say this is because she has a narcissistic mother. And in her commentary pertaining to the disappearance of her child on June 15th to Chris Madonna, there is no emotion in speaking of Summer Wells. There is no crying. There is no wailing. There is no hollering and screaming. And you have people right now who have missing children to this day, 15, 20 years later, and they cannot speak of their child without crying. Their children are dead and they still cry for their children. There is no crying by Summer Wells or Donald Wells. No public pleading from them searching for her. Even Candus, nothing. No crying, no pleading, no searching. That is all guilt to me. Because you're glad to be rid of Summer Wells. She was dead weight to you. She was a burden to you. She was a hindrance to you. And you made sure to get rid of her. But see, what you didn't bet on was the state taking your 3 itty bitty spiders. Because they found something foul and amiss at 110 Ben Hill Road. 6 weeks later, to take your boys. And it's now 6 months later, and Summer is somewhere out here waiting for us to get her and bring her rightfully out and get justice for her and also for your boys. You hurt her because June 15th was utterly orchestrated. There's no way I will ever believe that it was not. You orchestrated this. And I do believe Candus is involved, and I believe Donald is involved. Because if I'm to believe Boy H, conversation that he called you, talking about somebody on the property, that shows willful intent to not seek aid, to seek out help for your boys, and a child molester being on the property. So that means also Donald Wells is complicit to the disappearance of Summer Wells and aiding someone to feloniously assault their children on June 15th. You didn't call the police of somebody being on the property that day, allegedly, and nor did Donald Wells call the police. So both of you are complicit in the disappearance of your child. All of you all are in on this together. This is orchestrated. You never cared about Summer, and you never cared about your boys. Because had you really cared about the children, you'd have called 911 that somebody was on the property touching your kids. Because we already know that was a lie. That was for Boy H. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App. Thank you all for joining me. God bless all of you. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. I will be back with more breaking news when I get a chance. And I thank you. Yes, there was never no dignity and respect for Summer Wells or her brothers. I grouped them all together because they are one entity. That was their sister, okay? And they are her brothers. They are all the same. Fortunately, they are alive. And we can only hope and pray that they get the help they need, stability and love they need and nurturing. Because in the end, they're in the state's care. And there's no guarantee, how things are going to pan out for these children up until the age of 18 if somebody doesn't adopt them, raise them, and keep them in the same house or in a decent home. And that's the sad part of it. The children being in foster care. And if Summer was to be found alive, thank you, Jen, she would also be in foster care. And that would be just as devastating. Alive, yes, but that would be devastating. That Summer would then go into foster care. And for those of you who think the family is involved somewhere in America hiding her, well, would it just been easy to just step in and get Summer if you knew she wasn't being treated well, she and her brothers? And another thing you haven't thought about is, where is the family? Why are the boys in foster care? Why are there no brothers and sisters of Don and Candy Wells stepping up to take in the boys? Oh, you didn't ask yourself that, did you? Because you're too busy worrying about this other stuff that don't have no relevance to the story. Why are the children in foster care? Why were they removed? And why hasn't one relative stepped up to take the kids? So, you want to talk about SA and beat a dead horse about that? Yeah, I'm going there. And why are none of those sisters stepping in to take in the boys? I don't hear anything. You've beat the SA theory down. But the one thing you ain't came up with, why are those same sisters not raising the boys? I'll wait. Everyday shenanigans. Thank you.